Boop, boop. All right, we are now live on YouTube, Alec. Because of the technical issues, we weren't really talking in that time, and now it's echoing back into the thing here, and now I get it. Okay, that's how much of a delay we have, by the way. Whatever that amount of time is the amount of delay that we have because I had it open in a tab. And that is the kind of production we get around here on Sports Radio 1766. Alec, how are you doing today? The first episode we've ever done after a Rutgers football loss. I know it was a couple days ago, but
it was an unfortunate loss. But I mean, honestly, there was a lot of encouraging signs. There was definitely a lot of troubling signs, but there was reason to be encouraged. I had this game as a loss most of the season, and then on the show, and then in our Rutgers rivals staff predictions, I went back on it. I stopped trusting my gut when I should have, and that's that's a lesson to learn. You always trust your gut.
I think you got too caught up in the horn tooting. I think you were looking ahead and saying that, like, if Rutgers lost, would you be tooting your horn about a Rutgers loss?
No,
like,
I mean,
I don't know if you would be, right? Because but you want to be able to brag, because as we talked about last week.
The reason I tooted my horn, the reason I tooted my horn after Washington is because I got every single part of the game right. So if that doesn't happen, then obviously I'm not going to, keep tooting.
But you did get this game right here. What did you? I forgot what you said here. I forgot what the score was.
I think I said like 21-17 or something like that. So okay. In both of my predictions, I had it being more high scoring than it was. I don't think anyone predicted it to be 14-7.
Right. Well, I think with the weird weather or whatever, like that day, I feel like it was hard to predict. It's hard to predict any football game, right? But I guess that probably did go a little bit more. Like, I guess they did a better job against the Nebraska offense than I thought than I think we all thought they were going to.
Yeah.
But so how did you watch the game? Were you at home? Like, you weren't at Nebraska? I feel like I would have known that. Where did you watch?
I was at home. I watched on my couch. Like I said on Twitter, it's the first time in 11 months that I watched a Rutgers football game from my couch. Because I had been to all of them this year. I wasn't at Maryland, but that's because I was in Las Vegas for Rutgers women's basketball. So technically, I watched that one in the South Point Hotel and Casino. Before that, Penn State, I was not at Penn State either, but I was watching it from Jersey Mike's Arena because I was on the R Vision production for Rutgers women's basketball. And then I was at Iowa and also at Ohio State because obviously that was a home game. And then I was also at Indiana. And then what was the game before that? Before Indiana, it was... Why am I forgetting the game before Indiana? Oh, it was Michigan State. Wisconsin, I produced for WRSU. Michigan, I produced for WRSU, and then all the other ones were home games. I don't think I'd watched just like sitting on my couch watching a Rutgers football game in like almost 2 years.
That's crazy.
I was always doing something else during every single football game.
I had a family event, like uncles, aunts. I mean, it was like maybe 12 people there, and I honestly did not pay much attention to my family it was like right in the middle of like the game. It was basically like 4 to 7:30 was essentially like the family gathering. And it was a really frustrating game because I never felt like Rutgers was going to win it, but also it was obviously so close that throughout that there was never a time where you could turn it off. It was like, I don't know how other fans absorbed that game. I obviously there's like this belief, hey, this is a good program now. You believe in what they're doing, but you can still watch a football game and get a feeling like, I don't think they have much of a chance to win this game, but the defense played well. They bent but didn't break. They made the plays that they had to. And even though it was 14-0 for much of the second half, you still felt like, I knew they were going to lose, but I had to keep paying attention, completely ignored my family for most of that time. I'm not like someone who's like watching the game like angrily and intense and like whatever, but I definitely didn't like, I would have appreciated it if they won, but I would have appreciated it if they had given me an opportunity to like, all right, I'll follow the game from my phone. I had to keep going. I don't have to do any of this, but I had to keep going in the other room to check the game. And it was one of the more frustrating games I felt as a Rutgers fan. Like I was more frustrated by that game than I was by the Nebraska game 2 years ago on that Friday night. Was that last year?
That was 2 years ago. I mean, that's tough to because that game was one of the most frustrating that I have watched. I'll say that. Just
well, you know what
not even in terms of like just losing, but just how it happened.
We could do this at some point. It's something I actually want to do. This is an idea for a segment, like, and this isn't like a groundbreaking idea, but the idea of drafting stuff. Like people like to draft stuff. It's fun. People do like, they draft. You can draft anything. Drafting frustrating Rutgers football losses could be a fun one, or maybe not fun, but. Because I would put this last weekend's game among the most frustrated I've ever been watching a Rutgers football game, just because this is the season. That Nebraska team is not that good. They let Rutgers. I don't know how they feel about how they played in that game, like their fans or whatever. But they allowed Rutgers to stay in the game the entire time, and the offense just did a lot of what they did last year, which was they just can't score on the road. Like that fourth quarter touchdown was the first touchdown they had scored on the road since the Indiana game last year. Now, after that, Penn State, 6 points, Iowa, shut out, and then the first 3 quarters against Nebraska, shut out. So 11 quarters with no points on the road. And
Virginia, I guess you could say Big Ten road game.
Conference. I meant conference. Yeah. I meant sorry. Yeah. They scored points at Virginia Tech. That they played very well there. But they went 11 quarters without scoring without scoring a touchdown in the Big Ten. And the offense at times kind of looked like it did last year, where they just couldn't move the ball down the field. Now, Alec has really kind of kept them in that fourth quarter with those deep balls down the. They had like 2 of the same play down the left sideline. I thought there was like a weird deja vu where they had a play down the left sideline that got completed from their own goal line, and then on the next play was a deep shot down the right side of the field. I feel like it happened twice in the span of like 7 minutes. I want to say early in the maybe late third quarter, early fourth. I'm not saying that I'm not saying the offense is as bad as it was last year. I think it's clearly better. But that was a 3.5 hour fart on Saturday. At least that's how it felt to me.
Yeah, I mean, I get that they were down and they had to do something to try to get back into the game, but I just didn't really understand moving away from the run game. Now, it's not like, they were running the ball like 3 times in the entire second half and getting like 8 yards of carry each time, because Nebraska's interior defensive line in particular really did get a good push on the Rutgers offensive line. And I don't remember exactly what the splits were, but in the second half, I think Rutgers carried the ball. I think they were averaging like 2 or 3 yards of carry in the second half. So it's not like, they went away from the run game, and the couple of times they went to it, it was still very effective. It really wasn't. That first quarter was really the only one where they consistently got a good push in the run game. And then, I mean, the offensive line definitely struggled for probably the first time all year for a full game. Ethan Alec really didn't have a ton of time to throw. He was under pressure a lot, and that led to some not great decisions, not just where he was throwing, but how he was throwing. Like both of the interceptions were kind of off platform, throwing across his body. The one on fourth down, it's like, it's fourth down, so you're trying to make something happen. So that one's at least a little bit forgivable, but he's rolling to his left and throws back across his body. I mean, it's not very often you're going to find success like that. And then the second interception before the end of the first half, I mean, that was just a ball that, was just behind his receiver, and the defensive back made a good play on it. So yeah, Ethan Alec probably had his worst performance as a Scarlet Knight through 5 games. The offensive line had their worst performance of the season, and yet they still almost beat Nebraska on the road. So there's definitely some good things to take away from it. But yeah, the offense did not have its best day.
So I actually, this is kind of an incomplete set of information here, but I did have this tweet up on my screen from the game on Saturday, and you can see the rushing yards by quarter. First quarter, 70 yards. Second quarter, 2 yards. And the third quarter, negative 15 yards. And I felt it kind of right away there in that first quarter, where they're running the ball effectively, but they're not throwing the ball at all. And eventually, Nebraska is going to say, we're not just going to let you run up and down the field. You obviously clearly feel that you can't throw the ball against us. So we're going to load up the box, and we're going to force you to throw the ball against us. And we saw what happened, right? Like Rutgers was not really able to do much, but you can just, I'm still getting used to this. And I feel like I say this every week. I'm still getting used to watching a game in the first quarter and seeing Nebraska's, they look like a better team. They look like they're shutting down, or, I guess what I'm saying is I still feel like when I watch Nebraska go back down the field in that second quarter, I still feel like it's going to like steamroll into like a 31-3 blowout. Like I still have that feel. Like I can't be alone in that. I can't. I still have that feeling. I still have those scars. Like I just assume this is going. Oh, obviously Raiola's going to throw for 5 touchdowns and 340 yards, and this is going to. I'm still damaged. It's 5 years into this era without Chris Ash, and I'm still damaged by the past.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to shake it when it's been like it was so bad for it wasn't that long, but it was so bad for that short period of time. And for what it's worth, Rutgers carried the ball 8 times for 21 yards in the fourth quarter, so it's not like they magically got it going after you tweeted that. It still wasn't great. So I mean, still not great. Let's see, what are some other? I mean, the fake field goal we can talk about. I feel like it's been talked about to death at this point.
Oh, I didn't actually see the fake field goal. I missed that play. I never saw the fake field goal. Let me look that up. I legitimately just not watch the fake field goal. But go on.
So basically, it looked like it could have been something that worked. So if you stop it right before the ball snapped, you can see that there's a hole in between in the middle of Nebraska's field goal block, and like there's a hole to run through. At least that's what it looks like pre-snap, and then they snap and it just kind of the hole's kind of still there, but then Nebraska just converges. The main, I guess, thing that should have probably not been put into that play is swapping out Jacob Anderson for Timmy Ward as the holder. That I'm assuming Matt Rule saw something, and when he saw that, he noticed that probably something was off. And then just had him run up right through the middle, and honestly, he really had no chance at that point. So that was an interesting play that led to the first Nebraska touchdown. Honestly, this is probably gonna sound like at least a little bit of a boomer take, but I feel like fake field goals are a thing of like the past now, and I miss my old football with my fake field goals. Like going for it on fourth down is such like a modernized, like accepted thing that if you're gonna go for it, just go for it. Like like in the Shiano 1.0, just that time of football, going for it on fourth down really wasn't like a thing that people do consistently. So that's when you bring out the fake field goal because no one thinks you would ever, bother going for it because, nobody goes for it on fourth down. But nowadays it's such a thing that everyone does, including Shiano, that, at that point you're better off just putting your offense out there.
That's interesting because I hadn't. Like, I believe that if we're going to do that, it depends on what your personnel is, right? Like, I look at when a team like the Bills, they ran a fake punt famously in the playoffs last year with DeMar Hamlin. It did not work. You have Josh Allen. Like, if you have, just go for it. Like, if you
right.
That's fine. I don't know if I don't know. I'm not a play caller. I don't know what like the right ways to like do these things, but I don't like. I don't know if. I don't know if putting the ball in Timmy Ward's hands is the way to go. I don't know if Rutgers is in a position where they can just say like, oh, no fake field goals. I'd rather give the ball to Ethan Kaliakmanis. Like he's not like Josh Allen, like what I'm saying in that circumstance. So I don't know if I have a problem with the fake field goal. I think that is a boomer opinion. And I think that we need to continue like fake field goals, fake punts. I think that they still have their place. And I disagree. I think that you're too young. You're too young to hate the fake field goal. Actually, you might be too young. You might be even too young to remember like when teams were doing fake field goals more often. I wonder what the stats are on attempted fake field goals. I don't know. I wonder if anyone's tracked that.
It's not that I hate the fake field goal. I actually do love I've said this before. I love a well-executed fake, especially when it's like my favorite kind of fake field goal is when the holder gets it and just flips it over his head like so nonchalantly. That's like my favorite type of play of all time.
That's when kicker. You said fake field goal. I was thinking that Les Miles. I think it's at LSU. It was like one of his first like games there. I want to say like there was this crazy. I should probably just find where there's a visual medium I can find it. But he like the holder, flipped it over his head, and I think it won a game with a fake field goal. I love that one too. That's a good one.
I love it when you just flip it over the head, like the holder's not even looking. He just flips it over, and the kicker's there. Anyways, it's not that I hate the fake field goal. It's just that it has a lot less, I guess. I'm trying to find a way to word this.
Effectiveness,
I guess, like the whole fake field goal thing, like because the element of everyone surprise. Goes for it. Exactly. Because everyone goes for it on fourth down. It's not like, you're catching everyone off guard by faking a field goal and going for it on fourth down, I guess.
But maybe because you're like it's gone so far the other way, they assume that if you're going to go for it, then you're going to bring the quarterback out there. So then they're not going to expect Timmy Ward. Nebraska, on the other hand, they did expect Timmy Ward.
Well, that's fair. Again, like the problem with the one that Rutgers did again was because they had a different holder that does not usually hold ever at all. So that probably set something off in the minds of the Nebraska sideline and the players on the field. That something fishy was happening. It's funny that we're talking about it because you said we were talking about it, we don't really see it anymore. Later on in the game, of course, Nebraska tries a fake punt of its own and gets a 30-yard gain, which after the game, I forget who said it. It might have been the punter.
It was the punter, yeah.
It was the punter. Yeah, you said like they noticed something in the first half where Rutgers, their gunners kind of don't cover after 10 yards. So they figured they practiced it at halftime. Side note, I don't know what the heck they gave, what kind of like Aaron Rodgers level horse tranquilizers they gave that guy in between the third quarter. Like, I don't know if I'm sure you watched the game. That guy after the first punt where he got leveled, the guy was like walking like an 80-year-old man off the field every single time he punted the ball, and then he goes for this big punt. He was very effective, and then he throws an absolute dart for 30 yards. Like that couldn't have felt very good on his back. I don't know how he did it.
He said that during the week in film Rutgers never covers anyone over 10 yards. And what I was thinking about that is, how did nobody else notice this? I like, part of me is like, wow, like that's really dumb. But on the other part of like, well, nobody else noticed it. And we special teams generally is a good spot for Rutgers. But yeah, Saturday was not like the best showcase of Rutgers. I mean, obviously they did block the punt. But not two punts, right. So maybe in that respect, but there were some obviously big time special teams mistakes.
Well, I think the reason why nobody ever I don't know about nobody ever noticing it. I think they're just so focused on, okay, we're playing Rutgers. They're going to try to block our punts. We just have to, all we can worry about is just getting the punt off. And that's it, I guess. That's my like working theory, because Rutgers has that reputation for blocking kicks over and over and over. And they're going to send the house more often than not to try to block those kicks.
Yeah. Overall, it wasn't a particularly super interesting game. I didn't find, although the play where Monangai, people were mad that they didn't review it, or they ruled this forward progress down. I don't think that would have been a touchdown on review. I feel like I'm going to annoy Rutgers fans by saying that. I didn't see anything that definitively made it a touchdown. It's one of those deals where if it was called that on the field, maybe, then it would have stuck. But I didn't necessarily think that was a touchdown. I didn't think that was something that we needed to get up in arms about. But that's me.
I think I can't speak for everyone, obviously, but I think some people, what they have more of a problem with is, if it's going to be a close play, just call it a touchdown on the field so that you can trigger that automatic review. I think people are not as upset that it got ruled not as a touchdown at first. It's that they didn't even review it. To see if it could be.
Was the ruling that they had ruled this forward progress down?
I think I don't know if they ruled this forward progress down. I think it's like knee or shin was down at like the goal line. But then like it's kind of negated by the fact that you still had 3 more chances from that same spot and you couldn't get it.
When I hear you say that they should call it a touchdown so that they can then review it, I feel, to me, that sounds like a problem with the rules. Like where the rules need to be different and need to not like, you need to have a different mechanism than for the referees. Right. You need to put them in a better position. Then you have to call this a touchdown so we can then go review it. Like I understand that as a logical point where you want that to happen because that's what the rules tell you need to happen in order to get this play reviewed. But the rules just need to be changed. And you look at the Big Ten, they now have this command center. And this wasn't a play where that would be possible. These quick reviews that the NFL is doing where they're like, nope, 8 seconds. Like you find out when they go, like the announcers sometimes find out when the guys go back to the huddle. You know what I'm saying? Like it happens so quick in the NFL sometimes where it's just like, that guy clearly dropped that pass. We're not going to waste our time with the review. We're not going to make anyone challenge. That is just a quick, we need that in the Big Ten. And you would think they would. I mean, they have this new command center.
It's a nationally televised game on Fox Sports 1. So
there's that. And you
probably have the bandwidth to do so.
Yeah. Yeah, and how many people would you? I mean, you need another couple of officials, I guess, to man the office there. And not, again, that wouldn't be a situation where that would have been invoked because it wasn't very clear. But I do think that there needs to just be a better mechanism for guys at the goal line. The referee shouldn't have to call it a touchdown in order to review it.
Right.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is if you just rule everything a touchdown so you can review, like then you have to have like indisputable evidence to say it's not a touchdown. Otherwise, then you're just giving touchdowns out all over the place. So I agree that they need that NFL system where it's like, you can just talk to the officials like in between plays and correct them if the replay booth finds something different. I don't know, just have like Dean Blandino or Mike Pereira do that job. I feel like we don't need them on TV all the time.
It's crazy how much those guys are on TV. Like maybe I know they're just like on Fox and they're just on like they're there for the games that are big that we watch, but like I feel like Mike Pereira works from like noon to 3:00 in the morning on Saturdays.
Yeah, I just have them do it, honestly.
Yeah. Just like on the air too. I like the idea of like the referee on the air, just like you could see him watching it, and then he has 15 seconds to decide.
Although the problem is, I think they also do like every single game that's on a Fox network, whether it's Fox Sports 1, Fox, Big Ten networks. They're kind of watching all the games at once. So maybe just get some more of them and put them in the command center.
Something funny that used to happen. So when the NFL first like instituted replay review or reinstituted it was like the late 90s, and when they brought it back, it was supposed to be, I think it was a 90-second clock, or I forget it was 90 seconds or 2 minutes, but they would put the clock on the screen. They would do this every broadcast, every review, every challenge, and every single time the clock would get to 0 and the referee would still be looking at the review and nothing would happen. But the networks did not. This went on for years, where they would put this clock on the screen when they went to a replay review. That meant absolutely nothing. There have to be people listening, watching, who remember this. They would put
no consequence.
It was just there. It was this clock to nowhere. It meant absolutely nothing. It was there all the time. It was very irritating, at least in my opinion. I didn't like
no consequence at all for the clock running out.
No, it was just there. It was just this
no
pointless
rules.
Clock. And it was every time, he's gonna come away. The clock has gone up. The clock meant absolutely nothing, and the networks didn't catch on to it for years.
Yeah, there's no consequence. I mean, we have no rules in terms of clocks.
So up here on YouTube, I have got what we had this last week, the net success rates from at StatsOWar on Twitter. Parker Fleming puts out a lot of good stuff on Twitter for stats every single week. And as you can see, Rutgers kind of right in the middle there, I guess more towards the left. But kind of what this means is that Rutgers actually probably Rutgers played worse than Nebraska, a little bit worse than Nebraska. As you can see, the R being below the N. But they didn't get beat nearly as bad as they did in the Washington game, which if you remember, I guess I could pull that graphic up, but basically Rutgers was all the way on the left here where Minnesota is, but like even farther down. Like I think the labeling on the axis had to be different last week because of how badly Rutgers got beat in that.
For Rutgers Washington, it was like -0.2 instead of -0.15.
Right. It went farther than this graph goes. So yeah, I think a just result in that game on Saturday. Nebraska, the home team, they made fewer mistakes, and very frustrating loss. But I don't think anything that I don't know. I don't think there's much to take away other than that. It's going to be hard, I think, for this team to move the ball on the road in the Big Ten. That one of the things we talked about this schedule being more manageable than most years, that there weren't, you didn't have all the big boys, but they don't play Purdue. This would be a great year to play Purdue, right? Michigan State doesn't look, I mean, they don't look great.
I mean, they do have UCLA in 2 weeks. So that's,
I saw some of that UCLA Penn State game. They lost, obviously, and they lost, but I didn't think they were that. They're not, I mean, look, they're not Purdue bad, but nobody's Purdue bad. Like,
right.
There's something about, sorry to the Purdue, and there's no Purdue people. Oh, maybe Jake Fine, longtime listener.
Sorry,
of
Jake.
the pod. Sorry to the Purdue fans out there, but like it's kind of very satisfying to watch Purdue and be like, that's Rutgers. Like they're the Rutgers now. They're what we used to be. They're that thing
Yeah.
that people look at and they point at and they laugh at. That's not us anymore. We're not even close to that. We're not even
Right.
like
And it's not even
anywhere
just
near
because it's
that.
Purdue. It's just that it's not Rutgers.
Right. Oh yeah, it's nothing personal against Purdue. I like Purdue. Rutgers football has a lot of success against Purdue in the past. But yeah, like it's just it's nice. It's like that's the Rutgers. Like it's not because it's because they're just bad. Like
Yeah.
they're just a complete. It's an embarrassment. I didn't think they were going to be that bad. I thought Ryan Walters was that his name? Ryan Walters. That's his name. He's pretty good. I thought he was going to be pretty good, but
Now
it's
they're
not
starting
really
to
working out
lose.
there.
Yeah, they're starting to lose recruits now. It's falling. The
Oh,
wheels are falling off.
we've gotten to that point where we're
Yeah,
losing the recruits. He's
they're
in year
starting to.
two, I think.
He's in year two. Like I didn't think he would get fired. I thought he would be given another year. But
I
he might
wonder.
not, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Purdue's the kind of place where they're going to fire you after 2 years. But we'll see. We'll see. So what else do we have on the docket today? We talked about Nebraska. We'll talk some Wisconsin. What do you know about the Wisconsin Badgers?
They're going to be a bit shorthanded. They're down Tyler Van Dyke for the whole season. I believe he tore his ACL. He got injured against Alabama. Um, they're also down Ches Malusi, who is stepping away from the team. He announced to focus on fully recovering. He's dealt with some injuries in the past, so he's stepping away. So they're down their top their starting quarterback and their starting running back. So they're coming in a bit shorthanded. Should give Rutgers an advantage. The offense, which was supposed to be, one of those air raid type offenses when they brought in Phil Longo, again, it just feels wrong running an air raid type scheme at Wisconsin. Their
Those are
offensive line is still
cheese-fed
pretty
boys,
good.
man. You got to run.
Exactly. Like their offensive line is still pretty good. Braden Locke, I believe, is their backup quarterback who's now starting. He's been okay. He hasn't completely the train has not completely fallen off the tracks for Wisconsin. So it's not like Braden Locke has been terrible. He's been solid. It's hard to get a read on them, honestly, because they have played a bunch of good teams and a bunch of not so good teams, and they have mixed results. Like they were up 21-10 at halftime against USC, and then they got blitzed 28-0 in the second half. They absolutely destroyed Purdue 52-6. But again, it's kind of hard to get a read on that.
I would
And
love
then
to play Purdue, man.
yeah, even when they had Tyler Van Dyke, like they played, I believe, South Dakota at like one of the FCS teams, and then they also played Western Michigan to start out the season. And they didn't look overly dominant against those two teams, but then they go out and win a Big Ten game 52-6. Now, granted, again, Purdue not very good, but still, it's very hard to get a read on them. And I think it was reflected in some of like the projections, since Rutgers is, I believe, a 2.5-point favorite right now,
Yep.
where it's like a bit of a pick 'em, I guess, and Rutgers gets, I believe, the field goal because they're at home. So it's tough to get a read on them.
They don't seem to be great. Like looking
Yeah, they're
at
not great.
we have the team ranking stuff up here on YouTube. They seem to be good at punting. They're fifth in the country in net punting. I don't know anything about their punter. So shout out to him because he seems to be doing a good job. But seven more yards in net punting for Wisconsin versus Rutgers, 44.7 to 37.7. That I'm in a game where I'm going to go out on a limb. There's probably going to be a lot of punts in this game both ways, would be my guess. Neither of these teams. I know Wisconsin like intends to be like an air raid offense, but they're not. I mean, they're fine. Like they're not a bad offense. They're a better offense than Rutgers, it would appear, but they're not. You're not gonna. You're not afraid of the Wisconsin air raid offense. I don't think that's something fans should be in fear of on Saturday.
Well, especially once again, you're down Ches Malusi and Tyler Van Dyke. And I mean, Ches Malusi, since taking over for Braylon Allen, has been quite good. So I didn't get to watch a lot of that Purdue game, but I mean, obviously, again, not a very good team. But I mean, anytime you win a Big Ten game 52-6, it's very impressive. So I don't know. I don't know how they fare after this. And there's been some like weird rumblings of like culture problems in that program too. Like Braylon Allen tweeted something a couple weeks ago along the lines of like, if I told you what happened in my last year there, which I believe was Fickell's first year, it would be crazy or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, he had an interesting story too because he came in his freshman. He was like 17. He was one of these kids.
Yeah.
He should have been a senior in high school.
Right.
And
he came in reclassified.
He was somebody I want to say, and actually, we're going to talk some Heisman a little bit later. I'll talk some gambling. I don't really talk about it on the pod, but I'm like a professional gambler. I like talk some gambling. But what was I going to say? I think I had some bets on Braylon Allen to win the Heisman. There was like a little moment there where he was tearing it up, and then everything kind of fell apart. He wasn't great for a couple of years, and then obviously something happened in his final year there. But yeah, mate, something weird going on in Wisconsin, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't
and
know.
then I don't know. I remember Graham Mertz going he went 21 of 22 against Illinois in his first career game in the COVID year, and then he just never did anything close to that again.
Also, I had some Graham Mertz Heisman bets. I'm like that. Like if there's a moment, if guy has a moment, you got to throw in a couple bets on him, and both those guys did. And then the Luke Fickell era really, I kind of forgot he was the coach until this week, and then I think back, and he was like the hot guy. Like he was the hot commodity. People were talking about him.
Yeah.
To replace Ryan Day, that he was going to be the guy at Ohio State. And I guarantee you that if Ryan Day is let go, they're not going to Luke Fickell. Like that is not where they're going to go based on what we've seen in Wisconsin.
Yeah, he was the one that brought the group of 5 to the 14 playoff. Like I thought he would never leave Cincinnati until Ohio State opened up, especially considering Cincinnati was, I believe when he left, I mean, they were, there was obviously, the rumblings of them going to the Big 12. So I thought, they're going to a Power 5 conference now. Why would he leave to go somewhere else until obviously Ohio State opens up? And I was very surprised when he took the Wisconsin job.
Yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at the weather on Saturday real quick. Nothing crazy like last week. It was 96 degrees, I think was the I don't know what it ended up being, but it was really hot during the game, and windy, hot and windy. I call it the air fryer game. And Rutgers on Saturday appears to be perfect weather, 75 degrees, sunny, along with a few afternoon clouds, high near 75, and winds out of the west northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour, 45% humidity. That's fine. UV index 5 of 11. These 75-degree days in the fall, they're sneaky hot. You're outside for a long time. That 75 degrees feels a lot hotter than that. But it does sound like a great day. It sounds like I'm not going to be there, but it sounds like a fantastic day at Rutgers Stadium.
Yeah, it should be a very nice day, and it's a noon kickoff too, so that means it'll probably get like the hottest at around probably second quarter or whatever. That's when it's going to hit like the peak. And even then, it's it'll be warm but not too bad. And by the way, side note from the air fryer game. Greg Schiano said in the presser on Monday, his game week presser for Wisconsin, he said that on the field or right before kickoff, on the field when you're factoring in the turf and all that, it's always hotter like on the field than it is like the temperature that it is in the air. He said it was 121 on the field.
Yeah. I always love when they have the old style the old style thermometer, like the clock, like the circle thermometer. And they have it down on the field. I remember they used to do that. I don't remember what was the name. I don't remember the old no, that was Pittsburgh. Whatever the turf stadium was in Cincinnati for baseball. I just remember that always being like 140 degrees on the field. Whatever they had before Great American Ballpark. Is it still called Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati? I don't really pay attention to what things are called. But whatever.
Riverfront Stadium. That's
Riverfront. Okay, so Three Rivers, same thing. Great stadium, by the way. Great American Ballpark. Awesome stadium. I think top 3 favorite baseball stadium I've been to. Love that place. But the point I wanted to make was about the turf, and it used to be really hot. Like those old AstroTurfs in baseball, they used to be like 104. They were crazy, like 140 degrees. Also, concrete. Like the fact that they like at the old Meadowlands. I remember I went on the field once when I was like 6 years old or something. My uncle had a Boy Scouts thing, and I tagged along. And I remember being on the field at Giant Stadium and being like, I couldn't believe they played football. This is like it's basically a blacktop. And they just played football and baseball on that for
it looks
many,
like
many
it
years.
too. If you watch like the old games, you can visibly see like there's no grass there.
Yeah.
It looks like they painted a basketball court.
And you could watch like when a guy gets tackled, like he bounces. Like the guys would they would bounce a little bit. Like it's just it's not great, the old turf. So that's the weather. Rutgers in Wisconsin on Saturday, noon kickoff. It is on BTN.
Yes, they did not get big noon kickoff. That's Washington and Iowa. Obviously, Washington upsetting Michigan. That made sense.
That's an interesting game. Very interesting game, like styles wise. Washington's not quite the air raid or whatever that they were before with Penix and with DeBoer and Ryan Grubb, but We saw that they can move the ball up and down the field, and obviously Iowa is, they're playing soccer out there. They're barely even playing football. Yeah. Okay. So I think, is that it for Rutgers, Wisconsin? Was that it? Is that all I had on that? I'm not going. I got I got a block party, my yearly block party, and then I've got a family gathering at night. So I couldn't. If I only had one of those things, I could have made it work on Saturday. But just having both of those things just makes it impossible for me to make it to the game. So I guess I have the block parties at 2. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll probably head in. Maybe I'll set up a TV out there. I don't know if anyone on my street watches Rutgers football. I've never, not that I've never talked to anybody, but it's never come up. The Rutgers football has never come up. But maybe I'll watch some out there. But I won't be there on Saturday. First time in a long time I haven't been to a home game. But should be a good day. We've got another game next Saturday, homecoming. That was announced for noon, right?
Yes.
Was it announced for noon? Okay, it was announced for noon. I mean, homecoming's pretty much always going to be noon, right? Unless it's, I wonder how that works. I assume the conference kind of like they're not going to put you in like that 4:00 game. I don't know how the homecoming stuff works, but I feel like maybe, I don't know. They give you noon. We got noon.
I think last week was Nebraska's homecoming and they got the 3:00, but it's also Nebraska. So,
How many we have? Is it 3 homecomings we're the team for this year, or is it 2? Because I feel like at least 2 teams scheduled us for their homecoming.
I don't remember if it was Virginia Tech's homecoming or if it was just like their Hall of Fame game. Because I know it was their Hall of Fame game, but I'm not sure if it was their homecoming.
Okay, so we've got some other stuff to get to. We have to get to our gambling segment. Very important. The Rutgers gambling segment. The other Heisman stuff will come after that. A couple other things I want to get to, and then we have to get to Rutgers football simulated season. So, Alec, here we are. It is week 7, October 9th. I can't believe how quickly the season is moving here. I mean, we're already halfway through, right? Rutgers plays Saturday. They're at 5 games, 5 out of 12. They get to 6 out of 12 halfway through. And it just goes by fast, and I can't believe it. Wow, we're here. And it is time for week 7 in the league where they play for no pay. Rutgers and Wisconsin this Saturday, noon. Rutgers Stadium, Piscataway, New Jersey. The Scarlet Knights, a 2.5-point underdogs, welcoming in a 2.5-point underdog, not 2.5. Never mind. Rutgers and Wisconsin, noon on Saturday. 2.5-point favorite. Rutgers has never beaten Wisconsin, has never come close to beating Wisconsin. I think it was 24-13 last year, by far the closest it has ever been. Alec, is this the year where Rutgers beats Wisconsin?
I think it is, honestly. I think it's kind of setting up again, like we've talked about. Rutgers is down, or Wisconsin is down. They're starting quarterback and they're starting running back. And Rutgers, I mean, I think they can win this game. I'm thinking it's tough because I'm going to say this. I feel like I'm saying the same score for like every game where it's like a 21-17, 24-21 type game. But that's just kind of how the schedule has broken out for Rutgers, where it feels like every game is going to come down to that. So I'm going to give Rutgers. I'm going to have Rutgers cover the spread. I'm going to say I think this is more high scoring because again, it's better than last week against Nebraska, and I think Wisconsin's defensive front isn't as good as Nebraska's. I'm gonna say 24. I don't know if I want to go double digit win. I'll go 27-24. Rutgers defeats Nebraska at home.
27-24. Rutgers covers barely at home over Nebraska. Okay, or sorry, Wisconsin, not Nebraska. I have been convinced, as I've been thinking more about it, I am buying the Wisconsin air raid offense, and I am not buying the Rutgers defense, but I am also buying a Rutgers air raid offense on Saturday. High scoring, unexpected high scoring game at Rutgers. Rutgers 40, Wisconsin 30.
Wow.
Bet the over. 40-30 on Saturday at Rutgers Stadium.
Wow, you're almost doubling the over. You're projecting the over just for Rutgers, basically. That's
40.
great. What makes you think that Rutgers is going to put up 40 in this game? I'm curious.
Football's a weird game. And you give them a week, and you get guys more healthy, and they take it 40-30. They go up and down the field. 500 yards of offense for Rutgers.
Wow.
500 yards of offense for Wisconsin. It's going to be a 4-hour game. It's going to go on for a long time, and the fans are going to get their money's worth, and they're going to be very happy that the Scarlet Knights won. That's how I feel.
Wow. All right. Well, hey, I mean, I will definitely take that result. I'm not expecting it, but I would definitely take it. I mean, having a 40-30. When was the last time Rutgers played a game like 40-30? Like, obviously, they put up 40 plus in the two non-Power 5 games they played this year. When was the last time they had like a shootout like that?
The last time a 40-30 shootout game.
Not even like that, like exact score, but just like the same kind of like. Because even Virginia Tech, Tech last year, it was like 35-16, where Rutgers scored a lot of points, but they just didn't let Virginia Tech score.
You want a both sides media guide. You want a both sides
like high scoring game for both sides, yeah.
Back and forth affair. Rutgers with Michigan in 2020. I know nothing counts from that season.
Right. Yeah.
If we don't want to count anything from that season, let's see. Let me get all the results in one place.
I mean, that game was unbelievable.
Let's go like this. Producing. So this is one of the things around here that is not great is that everything's just us. Everything is just us doing stuff. So when we pop things up and try to produce stuff, it's just two people trying to make things happen. And so things can happen like I lose the window where I have, there it is. Okay. I lost this window. So let's go down to the bottom is where all that stuff is such bad production. So yeah, I don't know. It might just be that Michigan game. This media guide's also taking a really long time to load, if I'm being honest.
Well, Kevin Fine with a very good one. Indiana, Laviano. That was 2015, 55-52. That was the day. That was the day of my dad's wedding. We watched that in at a restaurant, the reception in Long Beach Island. We watched that in some restaurant. My dad had his like phone up on the mantle because, of course, it wasn't just me watching the game. My dad is also a Rutgers super fan, so of course he was watching it too.
I think actually Kevin Fine, longtime fan of the RU Screw Pod, and has come over here to Sports Radio 1766. And a candidate for the Rutgers Hall of Fame. I don't know what the deal is with that, or how long that stuff takes to, or when the next thing with that is. But yeah, he's always talking about Chris Laviano. That was a big one. What was the score of that game again? 52-51?
55. Yeah, 55-52.
55-52.
I remember Kyle Federico when Paul James scored like a 40-yard I think it was like a 35-yard touchdown on like 3rd and 1 to tie the game. Kyle Federico missed the extra point to take the lead. And then a couple minutes later, he hit the game-winning field goal. That's
right. That's right. That was what a wild game. That game had me looking up the all-time. Was it Nate Sudfeld? Nate Sudfeld was the Indiana quarterback. That game had me looking up what the all-time passing yards record was, because I think he had 300 midway through the second quarter. Where are the all-time results in this thing?
And fun fact, Eric Collins, broadcaster for the Charlotte Hornets, who's become famous for his going insane at random things happening. He was on the call for that game for Big Ten Network.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I'm trying to think, because again, a lot of these would require Rutgers to score a lot of points, which they don't usually do.
Finally,
that's
right,
one.
That one I was looking for. So we go back, and Michigan State last year 27-21. That doesn't count. We have, if we're not counting 2020. Liberty.
That game happened. All right.
I mean, the answer is
Nunzio,
Liberty, right? 40.
Nunzio Campany,
34.
Nunzio Campanile versus Hugh Freeze. I think that was when he was coaching them.
His only win. Nunzio's only win, right?
Yeah.
That was his only win.
Yeah.
How about the last Big Ten game that they had that was like that? I mean, nothing during the
It
Ash
very,
era, right? They didn't score any points.
it very well might be that that Indiana game. Might be the only one.
Yeah, let's say both teams over 30. Oh, this is one. 34-32 at Minnesota 2016. Rutgers random, like they couldn't score against anybody that year.
And then they just randomly dropped 30 plus against Minnesota.
And still lost. I think they missed a field goal at the end. I want to say Rutgers had a chance to win it with a field goal at the end. And then lost the game. But that was the last time they had a Big Ten game where both teams had more than 30 points, and it occurred during a season that counted. Right. And that was 2016. 2016 against Minnesota. All right, so I think we've got a couple more things to move on to. Then we'll get to Rutgers Football Simulated season. We'll look into we'll learn a little bit about Wisconsin, I guess, look at some alumni. What were the other things that I wanted to get to? We got to the weather. I want to talk Heisman odds. I want to take a look at the baseball schedule for today. We got a big day of baseball coming up. I'm very excited for this. This is the last day of the year with more than 2 baseball games. I've been getting more into like watching baseball with these playoffs. I bet on baseball. I bet on the awards, but I don't really generally watch that much. Like I'll listen on the radio, but I'm really getting into like watching these playoffs. And this is a great day. We've got a great day of 4 games. Are the Tigers doing another bullpen game? Is that what this is?
They very well. I mean, honestly,
a bullpen game or Scooble. Is that all they do?
I think so, basically, because it feels like every single time they just have TBD for their starter when it's not Tariq Skubal.
Yeah, I think he's one of the best pitchers. I
think he's the best.
He's the best, but I mean, as far as like the best in the last like very long time. Like I mean, as far as he's one of the best pitchers I think in the last like 10 or 15 years. As far as not what he's accomplished, and he's got to do more, and also as far as like his level of dominance and consistency. This is one of the best pitchers of the last 10 to 15 years. This is like he's pitching like Kershaw, that kind of level from Kershaw from like 10 years ago or whatever. I think he's at that kind of level.
Yeah, I was watching a clip from the Just Baseball podcast. They do a great job there. Basically, like they were saying that he is basically exactly what you want if you want to build a pitcher in a lab. Like he's a big lefty. He has a 90 plus, 95, 97, 98. He can hit 100 on his fastball. He's got a great second. He's got a great breaking ball. He has an excellent changeup too. Like he has great command. He strikes out a ton of people, but he also gets a lot of ground balls. Like he gets through innings like that. I mean, he is basically everything that you want in a pitcher. If you wanted to create a pitcher in a lab, that is Tariq Skubal.
And he kind of came out of nowhere. Like I don't think he came out of nowhere. He had good stuff for a long time, but he never really put it together until the last.
I think he was injured.
He was hurt. Yeah, he was hurt.
Yeah.
But he didn't really put it together. And now, at age 27, he looks like the best pitcher in the league. It's either him or Sale, I guess, right now, and maybe throw Zach Wheeler in there. Yeah, good day of baseball. Baseball from 3 o'clock to midnight. So if you're a baseball person, big night for that. We got the WNBA final starting tomorrow. I'm excited for that. This is a great time. This might be my favorite time for sports. This might be the best time of year. NBA starting back up. College basketball right around the corner.
NHL just started.
Yep. I'm not a huge NHL guy. Like I'll bet on the Hart Trophy, but I don't really watch that much. I find hockey to be too it's too fast and stressful. Mm-hmm. And then like you can't turn away for a minute or you'll miss a goal. Like it's like I like soccer. You have like you can miss goals in soccer too, but it's more chill. Hockey it's too much. It's too much for me. I can't get into hockey. I apologize to all the hockey people out there. I can't say that we'll be talking a lot of hockey on Sports Radio 1766. Maybe we need like a hockey correspondent, someone to like tell us about hockey. But that big day for baseball. How you feeling about the Yankees? Alex, big Yankees fan. One of the things I want to do, I definitely want to start talking. Like I want to dig into Alec's fandom, because while Alec is objective and professional and he'll come and he's great, but also like when he's rooting for his teams and he's not like reporting on them, I could tell on Saturday you were having, well, maybe we can talk about that later, but you were having a real like moment with the Seahawks and the Giants where you seemed like you were really, let's talk about that. You seemed like you were really kind of having a rough time on Sunday with this Giants Seahawks game. Alec, a big Seahawks fan.
It was not pretty, I'll tell you that. There's just so many things that I'm just thinking like, what are we doing here? Not to take a piece from Pat McAfee, but what are we doing here? Like calling 5 run plays the entire game for Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, by the way. You drafted both those guys in the second round. Those are 2 second-round draft picks you spent. Well, I mean, technically Mike McDonald didn't spend them, but you know what I mean. And even like Mike McDonald even admitted, like, yeah, we need to get them the ball more. Like that's on us for not giving them the ball. And it's just like, I don't know what's up with this team. Like the last 2 weeks in particular, and then they play tomorrow in San Francisco. I have no idea how that's going to go.
Oh, that's cool. That's a fun rivalry. That's like that might be the best rivalry in football. One of the best rivalries in football over the last like 10, 15 years. I mean, that's a big one.
And my aunt's a big 49ers fan too, so that's always a fun thing to experience.
How did you feel about the clearly illegal fake blocked field goal by the Giants?
Well, it's weird because I honestly, like, looking back on it, like in the beginning, obviously I felt like it was very clearly like illegal and it should have been flagged, but apparently there's like some rule where it's like not that illegal, or it's like you're allowed to like pin down. You can just like pin him down, I guess, and like jump over. Like the leverage call only gets called if you make contact with the long snapper, you're jumping over him. It's basically the Cam Chancellor rule, which is why it was in effect, because he would just like springboard himself off the long snapper. I love Cam Chancellor. I love that he did that.
He was a monster. Probably maybe a Hall of Famer, borderline. We'll see. I think he's. He should. On like talent, he should be. I don't know if he'll actually get in though, because he might.
Longevity
he retired like 30. He retired kind of young.
Yeah, longevity is going to hurt him. But it's like the Ryan Grubb, the offensive coordinator, I think he's done a good job so far, but it felt like he was still stuck in the same game script as when they were playing the Lions, where it's just like, we have to pass. We have to air the ball out to keep up with the Giants, when it's like, that's not actually true. And even then, the Giants offense still completely diced up the Seahawks. Like, they just didn't have the personnel, which sounds crazy when you think about a Devin Singletary and Malik Neighbors-less Giants team. They just didn't have the personnel to keep up. Trey Brown was getting dusted in man coverage. They would just get hitting crossers all over the field. Daniel Jones completely balled out. He looked like the best that we've seen since, obviously 2022 when they went to the playoffs. It's concerning. They're still injured up front. Boye Mafe is still out. Uchenna Nwosu is now on IR, which is a complete disaster. This defense needs help. Like their linebackers, it's just the linebacking unit's just not good. Like they just don't have the linebackers to make the difference. They also need Tariq Woolen to be back. He was out for a lot of the game. He was in the medical tent for a while in the Giants game, and once again Trey Brown was getting completely dusted in man coverage. They need to figure this out quick, because like they still have a game lead in the division, but that could easily change tomorrow night. Like they still have the 1 game lead over San Francisco, but that could easily change. I think they can beat San Francisco. I'm not counting on it, because without Christian McCaffrey, the red zone offense is a complete disaster now. And Brock Purdy is just like, he is taking a step back because he's not getting through his reads fast enough. So they can win. They have to get pressure on Brock Purdy, though.
So that's going to be the Seahawks, the Legion of Boom Seahawks, have one definite Hall of Famer in Richard Sherman. Bobby Wagner might make it, borderline. Earl Thomas should be in. They could. I don't know if they're going to end up with 4 Hall of Famers from that defense, but you could put 4 guys from that Seahawks defense in the Hall of Fame.
Obviously I'm biased. I'm going to say that all of them deserve to be in, but I legitimately think all of them have a case because they were so good at their peak.
How'd you become a Seahawks fan? How'd that happen?
So my uncle used to live out in Seattle. He lives in Massachusetts now, but used to live in Seattle. So my dad would visit. He'd bring me back like Seahawks stuff, and this was before I had like I was like 8 or 9 or 10 years old. So this was before I had like a definitive NFL team. So then I just kind of started rooting for the Seahawks. And then of course, a couple years later, they started like being good again. So yeah, that's kind of how that happened.
All right. So that is Giants Seahawks. Alec, I actually started this baseball talk, but I assume you'll be watching the Yankees game tonight.
Yes,
if you had do you have like a favorite? Rutgers, I think, is clearly like your thing. But like, if you had a favorite after that, is there like one team that like you're like, this is my squad?
I think it's the Yankees and the Seahawks tied. Honestly, it feels like a bit of a cop out to say it's tied, but like the Yankees and the Seahawks are kind of on that same tier for me, just because like I'm sure, like you said, like whenever I don't have to cover a team, so basically just like anything that's not Rutgers, I kind of turn into a complete like insane person about.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think nearly as rationally about the Yankees and Seahawks as I do about Rutgers because I like cover the team.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's I've had some bad takes about the Yankees. I've had some bad takes about the Seahawks that have just because I've gone completely insane in my fandom.
Mhm. I
But
like
that's what
that.
it's
Well,
all
I
about.
kind of, I kind of want to see. I want to see that with Rutgers. Like, I'd like to see you. Like, I want to see you lose. I want to see some of that irrationality. Like, well, one of the things I
That
love
time, I
about
mean,
college
well,
football. Let me give me a little bit of room here because I want to show some
okay.
appreciation for all of the Rutgers sports weirdos, and that includes us. Like, I'm not obviously we're doing it's 1:16 on a Wednesday, and we've dedicated our time to doing a live show about Rutgers sports. Like we're part of this group of Rutgers. I'm not unaware of these of Rutgers sports weirdos, but I think generally when you think of fandom, when you think of like extreme fandom, a lot of times you get the image of like an angry like Raiders fan or something, or like in all the garb. But at Rutgers, we just have like so many of these delightful, irrational, but also like professional kind of weirdos. And I mean that like me. I made a lot of songs about Greg Schiano. You wear the Christmas suit, but you also get out there and you get in the press box and you do the professional part. You've got Danny Breslauer. He'll go out there and he'll be like super professional. I'm Danny, 5 thoughts, blah, 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 broadcaster guy. And then he's a lunatic. He'll turn into lunatic fan guy. And you can go down the list, even like Aaron Brightman. Aaron Brightman, another one of these people, like obviously professional, does a great job, but also a rabid, irrational fan. Keep going at Dave White, Rutgers basketball super fan. Nice. He'll be, not objective, but like then he's also a lunatic. There's just so many wonderful, like, and I'm leaving people out. And I can keep going. Aaron Patel, and some of these people aren't media people. Like Aaron Patel, Bori Blanco. You can just go down the list of all of these just like wonderful, insane Rutgers fans. And I appreciate the way it manifests because like we have like the angry fans and all whatever. We have all those people too, but I feel like we have a nice group of wonderful Rutgers fanatic weirdos. And I just want to say shout out to them. Shout out to you. Shout out to me. Shout out to all of the weirdos out there because you are appreciated. You are very appreciated.
I'm glad. I'm glad that we are all appreciated. Yeah, my complete insanity about Rutgers might those days might be past, at least for now.
Oh, it'll
When I
come
was in
back.
the
It'll come back.
It probably will. Like if I'm not covering Rutgers, I'll probably still think completely insanely or be like delve into complete insanity at the very least.
When I
That's just
graduated,
kind of
I basically like I in '09, I stopped watching like in 2009 and 2010. I don't know if it was like an emotional thing. I wasn't around. I wasn't doing anything related to Rutgers. So like I don't know if I just like wanted to detach myself from it or whatever. So yeah, kind of a weird transitionary period. But then I started doing I started doing the stats for Carlin and the radio, and then I started getting back into it. And so I got back into it. Alec, I can tell you are never leaving. Like you like I don't mean as far like you're not gonna maybe not report on Rutgers forever, work with Rutgers forever, but you are not leaving. Your fandom, you're gonna be like 60 years old and trying to squeeze into that Christmas suit.
for better or for well, I'm 23 and trying to squeeze into that Christmas suit, and unfortunately, it has a hole in it,
It has a
so
hole.
I might be retired.
Oh
Well,
wait,
the pants
we need a seams we need a sewer. Is there like a non like
also
sexist
the
version
butt.
of the word seamstress, like a tailor? Just we need someone
Yes.
to like to sew it up. We need someone to fix this.
So
Alex got to get in the Christmas
um,
suit.
also, I think the button fell off. I think the zipper fell off too. Uh, yeah, it also doesn't have any belt loops. So whenever I would put it on with a belt, I had to like fold the top over the belt so it would like stay on.
You people hear how weird this guy is and what he's willing to do in order to like support Rutgers? Like, do you hear this? Are you hearing what he's talking about right now?
It just started as like a fun thing that maybe like maybe I'll wear it for this game because it's like a very hyped game. Like it was Indiana last year, or I guess 2 seasons ago now, and it just
And
turned into this whole thing.
yeah, and it's a thing now. It's a thing. It's also we have
Yeah.
a one of the things I did. So we started using StreamYard. And I was complaining about this before the episode. Is that I don't like on StreamYard how I can't easily add a picture to the thing here. So we have this great photo of Alec tooting his own horn. but well, right now I can't find it, which is really not good. But it's not easy to put up on the screen. So anyway, I'll try to find that at some point. And Alec, it was Alec in the Christmas suit, which is why it was even relevant. All right, so there's a couple more things I wanted to get to, and then we'll get to simulated season. I wanted to talk about my new hat and my like journey as a hat person. So you'll notice that this hat is flat brimmed. I have not bent the hat. I am not a flat brimmed hat guy. I'm trying it out. I was wearing it yesterday when I got it, and my wife was like, "You look like you're going to a frat party." Now so she meant that as an insult. I didn't know if it was because that sounds. I don't know. I don't know if that, I mean that sounds like I don't know if that's something I want to give off. I don't think I'm a flat brimmed hat guy. I really don't. I think that this. I don't know. I feel like this is probably more me. I don't know. I don't know if I'm cool enough to be a flat brim. Also, like obviously, it's like making a dent in my forehead. This is the other thing about flat brim hats. I'm not comfortable. It's not comfortable to wear a flat brimmed hat. I think I'm gonna bend it, and I'm not asking you to make the determination here. Are you? I don't know if I've seen you wear a hat. Are you a hat guy? You wear a hat on the pod? I don't really remember.
I'm like a backwards hat guy.
Okay.
Like I don't like. I'll wear a backwards hat because I think it like brings in my hair nicely. Yeah, and like
no, that's not me.
Yeah, that's mostly what I like to do. And also I like to like push it up enough so that like my forehead isn't showing through like the opening. That's kind of how I I also like bucket hats too. I'm a bit of a bucket hat.
You're a bucket hat guy. Yeah, I feel like I've seen you in a bucket hat. I think I look good. I don't know. I know where this hat journey is taking me. It's just that once you bend it, obviously it's bent. And obviously there's a lot of people out there who'd be like, you can't bend the hat. But I don't know if I'm a flat brimmed hat guy. I don't know. And you gotta like some people turn it to the side if you're like really cool. I don't know like I don't know. I don't know what to do about this it's kind of something I'm trying to figure out. I really am not a hat guy in general. As I've talked about before, my hairline is not, it's fine for now. It's not overall doing great. A couple of years from now, I'm going to be more and more of a hat guy. So I need to figure these things out. I need to figure out if I'm a flat brimmed hat guy. All right, real quick, I want to talk about Heisman. Let's talk about the Heisman Trophy. So we're going to go here, and then we go like this. Boom, Heisman odds. Okay, so this year's Heisman Trophy. It's a really interesting year for the Heisman Trophy. Actually, let me give it more of an intro here first. So I want to talk more about gambling. I am a professional sports gambler. I gamble on awards futures. It's my main source of income. I enjoy it. I've never really talked about it before. I post some stuff in Discord sometimes, but I've never really tried to put any kind of gambling content out there. No particular reason that I haven't done that. I just haven't felt the urge to, but now I'm going to give it a little bit of a shot. And the other thing is, well, I kind of lost my train of thought there. Guys, I think there's a lot of gambling. People like when people start talking about gambling, so much of the gambling coverage out there is just bad. Like there's so much bad gambling coverage. It's all out there, just kind of designed to sell you gambling. Like none of it is like 99% of the gambling coverage out there is not trying to do anything other than sell you gambling. Like it's like the Heisman Trophy odds presented by DraftKings, and then or whatever. Like it's never anyone trying to do anything good. So I'm trying to analyze this in a way. I'm not trying to sell you gambling. I'm not. This isn't advertised by gambling. Though if a sports book would like to sponsor this, they would. I wouldn't change the analysis. But if they'd like to give us money and like put a logo there, I'm not going to stop them from doing this. Obviously, these odds are from FanDuel. But let's get to it. So this year's Heisman Trophy, very interesting race. It seems like the consensus right now is that there are two top guys, and it's Ashton Ginty from Boise State and Travis Hunter from Colorado. You can see up there plus 240 and plus 320. That's cool to see because the non-quarterback is something that just doesn't win the Heisman that often. Devontae Smith won it a couple of years ago, but it has kind of become a yay quarterback award over the last
nothing from that
season.
Nothing from the 2020 season will ever count.
That's true. Well, actually, I mean, for me, it does actually because Devontae Smith. That was actually when I first kind of realized, I can do this. Like I know, because Devontae Smith was plus 5,000. That was clearly like in early November. Clearly was poorly set odds, and then so for me it counted. for me, the Devontae Smith year kind of. But yeah, also it was kind of a weird year, and it of course didn't count. But this year's Heisman Trophy race is a little different than other years because we have the 12-team playoff, and so it changes, I think, the dynamic of things, because in the past, in order to win the award and not be on like a big time team, you had to be Jaden Daniels last year. Like, you had to put up video game ridiculous numbers to even be considered at 9-3. Lamar Jackson did it with 9 wins, but generally speaking, you needed to win at least 10 games to win the Heisman Trophy. This year with the playoff, I think that's changing. I think that you will get more consideration for maybe an 8-win Colorado team, someone from an 8-win Colorado team, or a 10-win Boise team, because Boise, especially, they very well might find themselves in the playoff. They are, I think, have the highest percentage chance of the non-group of 5 teams, or group of 4 team. Group of 4? How many are there now? I can't even keep track of it. 4. However many conferences there are.
It changes every day, honestly.
I don't know. I don't know. And then there's like these new rules of transferring. It's like I don't bother. I don't bother to learn any of the new college football rules because they always change. I should know how many major conferences there are. But Boise State is the most likely of those teams to make the playoff, and I think that a season like Ginty's having, where he's got over 1,000 rushing yards in 5 games, though he's really only played 4 because he sat out 2 second halves. A guy like that might have had a harder time winning in the past, but this year, with the ability to make the playoff, I think he's a great candidate. He's going to have to get over like 2,300 rushing yards to get there. He's going to have to keep up this pace, because people are not like they'll try to find a way to not vote for the Boise State running back if he falls off. If he doesn't keep, maybe not at this level, because the guy's ripping off a 65. He has a 65-yard touchdown run in every single game. Like, it's insane. The numbers for Ashton Ginty are insane.
A joke that I've seen is like he's doing it ethically. Like he's not stat padding against Portland State where he didn't play the second half or anything like that. Like he's an ethical stat padder where he's doing it against Power 4 competition.
The ethical compiler. I like that. Because if he played that second half against Portland, I'm sure he could be at 1,500 yards right now, right? With the way that nobody can seem to stop this guy, that he's the best running back in the country, and he's playing against Utah State every week. Now, I do think that the top 2 with Travis Hunter, I think Travis Hunter is going to take it if Colorado wins 8 games. I think that there's a lot of momentum for these. Got to stay healthy and continue to play at a high level. His stats are going to be crazy as a receiver. Like, he's going to end up with over 100 catches, probably over 1,200 yards. And if he can keep that up, keep playing defense, get a couple of big picks, Colorado doesn't have to be in the playoff for him to win. And then you've kind of got the next tier that I think is Cam Ward has his own tier. Then Jalen Milroe, he's going to have a chance to get back into it. And then after that, you've got some candidates that I think are just kind of there because the teams they play for. Like, I don't think Dylan Gabriel is going to have much of a run here. I think that people kind of see him as, not that Bo Nix was bad or anything, obviously first round pick, but like it's system that the numbers get put up because of the system. And Dylan Gabriel, his numbers really haven't been that great this year. Carson Beck, I think he could find himself back into it, but I don't think Georgia is I don't think he'll put up the stats. Jackson Dart, sort of interesting, I guess, but he's just going to have big stats, and I don't know if they're going to win enough games. Klubnik is interesting if Clemson starts to turn it on. But I really think it's those top 4, Ginty, Hunter, Ward, and Milroe. I like Drew Aller a lot from Penn State coming into the year, just because of that same thing with the playoff where, like, Penn State, hey, this is their year, right? To win 10 games and not be amazing, win 10 games, get into the playoff. But Aller really hasn't put up those kind of numbers that would put him in the race. Just a couple other things. Curtis Rourke from Indiana at plus 4,500. That is a good dark horse. Now, he's the kind of guy that Indiana is going to, they could lose a couple games because they're Indiana, and you really wouldn't be surprised if he fell all the way off the board. But if Indiana keeps winning, he is putting up really good numbers. Really interesting candidate. I don't really think there's much other interesting here. It's kind of a weird Heisman race in that I don't see anyone that's really that capable of coming out of nowhere and winning this thing. Shedeur Sanders is kind of there. Now, it would take a Travis Hunter injury, and I think Colorado winning like 9 or 10 games. But if he tears it up, he could get into the conversation. But I think he's kind of boxed in by Hunter. if I had to give a little bit of advice, I don't want people coming in, oh, you told me to bet on this, blah, blah, blah. This is just a stream of consciousness. This is what I'm thinking. So that's it.
This is not financial advice.
Not financial advice. If you want a good long shot, Curtis Work at plus 4,500. You might be able to find him lower somewhere else. He might have been plus 5,000 on ESPN. I'm not 100% sure though. I don't have that info right in front of me. He is a good candidate. And then it's pretty much it. I mean, I think there's still a little bit of value in Travis Hunter, but people really don't they don't look at plus 320 and think like it's basically plus 320. Do you think Colorado will win 8 games? Because I think that the momentum for like voting for Hunter will pick up a lot. And if you think that Colorado can win 8 games, I think plus 320 is a very good number. And yeah, it's pretty much it. Just I would like there to be more of kind of a dark horse to run in there, but I think that the odds have been set pretty good this year. I don't think it's a year like Devon. I don't think there's a Devontae Smith out there that's going to come out. I know Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State is there. Ryan Williams isn't even on the board from Alabama. Maybe he could, he'd have to start going more crazy. Maybe he could, he could get in there. But overall, I think the right now it's Hunter is the guy that I would zero in on that. Ginty at plus 240. The other thing with Ginty is that like they already have one loss. If they lose like 1 or 2 more games, I don't think anyone's giving, unless he runs for like 3,000 yards. I don't think anyone's giving the Heisman to somebody on an 8 or 9 win Boise team. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, granted, I don't gamble because I am very bad at it in my limited experience, so I don't, do it or give advice on it. I don't know. I think it's Hunter's to lose at this point, just because like I don't know if they'll get enough. I don't know if they'll make the playoff. I think they should probably make a bowl game. I think that's the expectation. And he's just been unbelievable on both sides of the ball. Like he's a top 10 receiver and a top 10 corner. That is insanely difficult to do.
Yeah, it's why. I mean, it's like he's football Ohtani. He's not quite that good, right? But he's like kind of like
he's like the closest equivalent that you'll get.
All right. Quick Shohei Ohtani story to kind of tell you how great Shohei Ohtani is. I have an uncle who like half follows sports, and last year he came up to me. He's like, "Oh, what do you think of this Ohtani guy? He's crazy. He's hitting all these home runs." I'm like, "Yeah, he's really great." And when he pitches, it's amazing too. He's like, "He's a pitcher, right?" But yeah, Hunter is incredible, and people are really starting to get onto it. And if Colorado wins 8 games, I think that he's in really great shape to win the Heisman. So I think that is it except for the simulated season. So what I think we should do, Alec, I think we should go to break.
Oh, you haven't talked about how you fell asleep during Danny Spaces yet.
Oh, Danny Spaces. Yeah, I fell asleep during Danny Spaces. It was Sunday night, long day of football. Well, I wasn't playing football, long day of watching football. And I sat down on my couch to listen to Danny Spaces, and I passed out. Now, whose fault is that? I don't know. I was tired. I will say that I don't want to put it out there. I don't know if this is the kind of they want this out there. There was somebody else who also fell asleep during the Spaces, and again, I don't know if it's Danny. I don't know. Maybe people are falling asleep during this show. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. But I don't think it was Danny's fault. But he also didn't necessarily keep me awake. So I don't know.
I was fully awake, mostly because I was still cooling down from the Seahawks-Giants game.
He was giving the biographical information of the players. That's around the time when I fell asleep.
I wanted to jump in. I just didn't find a good spot to. But no, it was a good listen.
I did appreciate. Yeah, I was gonna say Mike Broadbent is like he just kind of shows up places, right? Like he's sent
here.
Well, I'm saying that's what he was on here last week, and he talked about how he sent. I asked him who he was because I was like, "Who are you?" And then he explained who he was, and he showed up on Rivals. He just showed up there, and then Danny Spaces. There's Mike Broadbent. Mike Broadbent showed up on our podcast. I mean, he didn't show up. We invited him on, but he just he shows up, and he showed up there, and good Spaces. Do we get any prank calls? Do we have any prank calls?
No, unfortunately not.
That's unfortunate.
Unfortunate. I whenever you say that, I will always remember like a year or two ago, someone called into Nightline under a different name with like an obviously fake Indian accent, like 3 different times yelling about Rutgers football. And it was absolutely hilarious. I wasn't on it. I heard it after the fact. It was hysterical. I'm not
Mhm.
encouraging people to prank call Nightline because the poor WRC producers, they don't get paid to do this. They don't deserve that, but it was absolutely hysterical.
I mean, prank call them, but stay within FCC regulations, and you'll be
Well,
fine.
obviously, yeah.
When we did
It was
Nightline,
also
I didn't
it was
care what the
also
call was, man. If somebody called, like, I don't know what your caller situation was. This was like this. Look, this was 2007, so it was like harder. Like, I could just go on the internet right now and just message like somebody and just like, hey, can you call on the Nightline? Back then, it was like
yeah.
we would call it. Like, I would call. I call them with a fake British accent sometimes, just so we could have some callers. And like call. I would say call on the night. I am encouraging this. Alec might not be. Prank call WRSU. Go ahead, do it. Maybe I might do it. I might do it for Nightline. I had the phone line what is it, 256-667-1766, and I didn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. We
Prank
gotta
call
get
us.
prank. You can at least prank tag. You can call us. It is set up that if you
Yeah,
call, it'll go directly to voicemail 256-667-1766. I feel like that should be on the bottom. I feel like there should be a
probably.
yeah, I should have that. I should have the phone number on here somewhere. I'll work on that during our little break here, but we're going to go to a break right now. We come back. Rutgers football simulated season against Wisconsin. That's not what I wanted to do, but we're back here on Sports Radio 1766. Okay, I see Alec is ready to go. Sports Radio 1766, getting ready to go here with Max and Alec. Alec, can I hear you? Are you here? I can't see you.
I
There's
am
a
in fact
technological
here.
problem. So I should probably
I
take
am
off this
just
be back soon. Boom.
Yeah.
And then get this. Boom. Okay.
I am merely the disembodied voice once
Right.
again.
Wait, hold on. There's some things we need to do here. So we do this and we put your little face up there.
There we go.
There, we got Alec there, and I just realized I forgot to make an overlay for the simulated season, but I'll do that right now. So here we are, Rutgers and Wisconsin simulated season. Alec, why don't you set the scene for us here?
All right. So once again, Rutgers has a disadvantage in terms of overall. I'm just now realizing I should probably take out. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this live. We're gonna edit out Tyler Van Dyke and Ches Malusi in the because I realized I never did that.
Good idea.
I'm going to edit them out in the depth chart.
I think those are two of probably their top, ranked players.
Period.
Right, but also like in the game, they're probably like their best.
Yeah. Like Tyler Van Dyke is an 83 overall, so let's go with Tyler Van Dyke. We'll even put a kicker over. Well, no, Ryan can't do that. Ches Malusi is an 84. See, like it's not like they are completely screwed without them because they still have other options, but they're not going to have either of those two guys. So let's just do that in real time, and hopefully it does actually work. I think I finally got the Rutgers depth chart to be fixed to what it is now. So hopefully the Wisconsin one stays the same as well. Nope, don't want to play Syracuse. There we go, Wisconsin. All right, so how are we doing this? Are we doing like just spectating, or are we calling the plays, or what?
Yeah, we talked about this. We didn't really come to a conclusion. Do we want to? So we had a couple of ideas, and we didn't actually settle anything. So one of the options was that you would play, but you'd have to play on Heisman. Now, is that going to go really bad if you do that? Like, is that going to be? Are you just going to get blown out? Like, is it possible that you win?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't play on Heisman all that much. I mostly just stick to All-American.
It's just that when you did All-American last week and you won the game, it looked too easy. I thought it might be too easy. It looked too easy. It looked too easy. I thought it looked how I thought it was going to look. When I expressed concern beforehand, it looked exactly how I thought it was going to look.
Well, to be fair, I audible to a play that is usually cover 3 beater anyways, and then they ran cover 3.
Oh, we're audibling based on intended expected defensive alignments. Wow, that's big time.
That was not intentional though. It just happened. They just happened to be to cover 3. I don't know what I would have done if Demir Miller didn't spring free down like all the way up the field. Rutgers probably would have lost that game, honestly, if Demir Miller didn't like randomly get wide open. So I don't know. What should we do?
I think that my goal. I would like to see you play on Heisman, but
okay,
that's what I would like to see.
All right, we'll do it.
Nice. Oh, this is great.
So it's going to be the Scarlet Out game. So we're going to put Rutgers in the all red jerseys.
Good. That's cool. That works.
Got the Rutgers playbook. All right, let's do this. Actually, wait. Let me see if what Wisconsin's uniform combinations are. All right, you know what? Let's go all white. Yeah, that's perfect. All right, let's do this. Oh wait, I accidentally put it to varsity. Hold on, let me back out and fix that. I don't like that it doesn't save. There we go. Wait, now I'm just realizing if it didn't save the difficulty, did it save the uniform combo? This is terrible. Yeah, no, it didn't.
Oh, this is great. This is exactly the kind of stuff that I'm looking for.
There we go. Okay, now we're good. Okay. How do we want to do? How long do we want to set the quarters? Because it'll go by like better because I'm actually playing.
So it'll go by faster.
I don't know, to be honest.
What did we have it last week? 6 minutes?
I think so.
Okay. I'm fine with 6. That works for me.
All right, let's do this.
The great thing about this, and this is why I like simulated season, is we're putting something out there where like, and this is why personally, I want to get back to streaming on Twitch, but that's a totally different thing, is that the game does the talking. Like you don't have to talk all of the time. But we do have to talk if we want to put this out as a podcast episode, but we can maybe figure that out later. But yeah, this is exciting. Rutgers football simulated season, and what's our record? We lost. I can never remember what actually happened. It doesn't matter what happened, but like
no, we won last week.
What happened?
Remember,
Oh,
I
right, we
won the
won. We were just
game.
talking about. We're literally talking about it. Yeah, we won. That's right. You won it with that.
I think
forgot the score.
Rutgers. I think Rutgers is 4-1 right now, but the loss is different than in real life.
Okay.
Because remember, we lost to Virginia Tech.
Right. That's right.
But beat Washington and then beat Nebraska as well. So 4-1 right now, or 3-1 technically, because we didn't do one for Howard. All right, here we go. Honestly, I don't play on Heisman a whole lot, and Nebraska or Wisconsin has the higher overall, so this should be very interesting to see how this goes.
I'm excited. Got a 88 overall Wisconsin against 82 overall Rutgers.
All right, here we go.
I messed up. I messed up.
Yeah, I just noticed that. I was wondering if that was. There we go.
I forgot to. So in the overlay maker, I forgot to make the screenshot invisible. So boom, and then we'll fix that right now.
All right, so Ethan Kaliakmanis just got sacked. It was a play action, and the entire offensive line just instantly fell apart. I also forgot to take out Brian Felter. I'm just now remembering, but it's fine. We'll roll with it. All right, third and long. There we go. First down conversion. All right, let's get a first drive score here. That would be very nice. We're gonna roll play action. Demir Miller should be open, which he is, and just go to the sideline once again. And I think that was man coverage, so it's a pretty good way to do it. And then we're gonna run the ball with Kyle Monungai. It didn't have too much success the first time, but just got to establish the run, and that didn't do too much. Gain of 2. All right.
These jerseys are nice. These are really nice. These all reds. They're great. I'm a big fan.
Yeah. All right, let's go 2nd and 8. Let's see if we can get something going towards the right side of the field. Oh, barely got that pass off, and it's incomplete. All right, 3rd down. What should we do here? I realized that I should probably have you be involved at some point, in some level, in calling the plays.
Yeah, no, this is my. No, I was. No, it's my fault. I mean, I'm doing I was doing the overlay, and I'm trying to tweet something out. See, we need like an intern, because I haven't been tweeting out that we're live, and obviously there's problems, like we don't have a schedule yet. Well, I will talk about. I mean, we've texted about this, and any problems with it is entirely my fault. But we haven't come up with a schedule yet, and I would like to have a schedule. Hey, people, we are going to be live on. My plan is Tuesdays at noon. That's what I would like to do. I think you said you're in for that. Yesterday didn't work out, but that was my fault.
I got to change. Okay, so it doesn't look like the depth chart actually changed like I wanted it to. So I'm going to go ahead and change that real quick.
So we've got Chris Long.
This is wonderful content that we have here.
No, this is fine. Chris Long, 3rd receiver. We got Demir Miller at 1, and then Chris, who was 2nd. It was I can't even remember who was 2nd. Oh, it was Ian Strong. Ian Strong was the 2nd receiver.
Let's see. Oh, I'm taking out Jermichael Scantlebury out of the rotation entirely, and putting in Jordan Thompson.
Jermichael Scantlebury. Is that why are there fake players on these teams? Is that just somebody who didn't agree to be in the game? Is there anyone? Is there anyone in the Rutgers who didn't agree to be in the game? Is there anyone that's not here?
Yes, there are players that are not here. DeMar Coleman, that's a fake person too. Troy Rainey will be in place of him.
I thought about to say Troy Rainey was fake. I'm like, I think he's real.
Aaron Garland, excuse me, is another fake one. Let's see. Oh, I did. Okay, so Toure being no, never mind. No, it didn't. We're just gonna put Moses Walker.
But is there anyone that you see this player who plays for Rutgers is not in the game? Has a scholarship, and is this not in the game?
There are a few, yeah. Al-Shadi Salam is not in the game. There's a few more that I'm not remembering right now. But yeah, there are some that are not in the game.
Oh, something I didn't do earlier. I had the audio of Connor Stallions complimenting Rutgers on their signs or whatever. Let me play that right now, because I have the audio and I think people are interested in it. And if you haven't heard it, so Connor Stallions, Michigan spy guy, was on some kind of Barstool property. I don't know which one. I think it was Barstool. I think isn't he going to work there? Didn't someone say he was going to work there? I think Connor Stallions is going to parlay all of this into a job at Barstool, is what it seems like.
Who knows?
Is where it seems like this is going. So good for Connor Stallions. But he was talking about Rutgers and their ability to steal signs.
huddled every single play. They're really good at getting signals.
Mhm.
So again, you're really good. Like we huddled every play.
We just beat them too. So
Yeah.
They were undefeated.
Handled business.
Very good. Yeah,
Nebraska handled business.
Yeah,
on
we
that.
handled business.
So Rutgers, they're very good at protecting their plays.
Very good because they're good at getting signals. So they
And did you figure them out at all?
Well, like I know their guy.
Yeah.
So we both. Well, first of all, Michigan offense. We never really steal signals. We huddle more than anyone in the country. I think besides Air Force maybe or whoever, one of the service academies. But you don't see Michigan go up tempo all too much. But yeah, we huddled every play and they huddled every play. And then after the game, I talked to their guy and we just kind of, that was the ultimate stalemate.
Yeah. He just the cat.
See you later.
Yep.
And did you know him personally before the game?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then right after the game, like, all right, right back to, whatever you need help with, let me know. I'll give you what I got. And he gives me what he's got. And that happens every Sunday. Right.
So every Sunday you essentially talk to the team you just played, their guy,
anyone.
So that was Connor Stallions. Rutgers apparently good at getting signals and hiding signals, obviously with huddling every play. As Alec showed up field goal making ability there, that was nice. Good,
yeah, 52 yards.
Well made field goal. That was sort of interesting hearing Connor Stallions just kind of talking about Rutgers and apparently meeting with somebody. I don't know who our Connor Stallions is. Somebody suggested
that's a great question.
It's the get back coach. I honestly I don't know who's our signal guy. I think that I don't think if the signal guy is allowed to say he's obviously so much of this is because it's football subterfuge, it's military, it's all that stuff. So no one's allowed to say anything, and especially if you work for Greg Schiano, you're definitely not allowed to ever say anything about anything. But we have a guy obviously that's deciphering signs and meeting with Connor Stallions, and that's a good little tidbit there. Hearing about the ins and out, the inner workings of college football.
Oh, I almost got a third down stop, but I completely whiffed on the tackle. Well, that stinks.
That was a nice screen pass right there. Alec went down the field, got that field goal. But now Wisconsin seems to be going down the field. So let's who went to Wisconsin? Let's see. Who are Wisconsin?
The Watt brothers.
The Watt brothers. The Watt brothers, they go there.
Yeah.
That's right. Wisconsin alumni.
Frank. Well, if we want to go to non-sports people, I was going to say Frank Kaminsky, but then,
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was going to say non-sports people. Let's see. We know plenty of athletic people. What do we got? 3rd down and 3 here for Wisconsin at the Rutgers 38-yard line.
All right, let's get. We're going to run cover 2. Oh, they are running the ball. And they get the edge. Wow. John Cusack. I did not know that. It's pretty cool.
I sat behind John Cusack at a couple of Cubs games when I was a kid. Big deal.
That's pretty funny.
Jane Kazmarek. She was the mom. This is before your time on Malcolm in the Middle. People probably know her from other stuff too. As Nebraska continues to march down the field. Steve Miller,
defense.
Rutgers Steve Miller. Steve Miller as in Steve Miller of the Steve Miller Band. Yeah, he's from Wisconsin.
Wow. As you can probably tell, defense is not my strong suit in this game. I'm much more of an offensive guy, so this is not going well for defense, but still time to turn it around. Wow, that was really not good. The entire defensive line just got pancaked.
Big old oh, we got Boz Scaggs. I don't know anything about Boz Scaggs. Some of those old musicians that I've heard of, but I know nothing about.
Yeah, me too.
It just sounds like something. It just sounds like dad rock. If your dad is of a certain age, they probably like Boz Scaggs. I don't know your dad, but he probably likes Boz Scaggs.
I have never asked him. I'll have to ask him.
How old your dad? How old is your dad? Your dad's 50s. How old is
he? He's 54.
Okay, all right. So he's the same age range as my dad.
Yeah.
So it just sounds like a dad. It sounds like Boz Scaggs just sounds like the name of dad rock. You couldn't come up with a better fake name.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Frank
Wisconsin at the
Lloyd
1 yard line.
Wow, that's big. That's huge. Frank Lloyd Wright, Wisconsin.
Wow.
World famous architect. I'm always from Wisconsin, and he went to Wisconsin. All right. We don't do. Who's our answer to that? Jerry Zucker brothers.
All right, let's see. We're changing our coverage. Last second. Let's get a stop and a 3rd down sack. Let's go. Wesley Bailey. getting the stop. And now Wisconsin will have to settle for a field goal.
Okay, unless they go for
There
it.
we go.
No, they're not going for it.
They're not going to go for it.
They don't do that in this game.
Sometimes, like they'll suggest to go for it in certain situations, but then, like they'll also recommend when you're down by 14, you score a touchdown, they'll tell you to go for 2. So it's like kind of advanced in that way. All right, here we go. I did put Dylan Braithwaite on the kickoff team because he has the highest speed on the team, and now it's showing off. Oh boy, is Rutgers going to get a kickoff return touchdown with Dylan Braithwaite? Yes.
Gone.
Let's go. Touchdown. Let's go. Yeah, 97-yard return for Dylan Braithwaite. Let's go. And now Rutgers has a 10-3 lead, and the defense is going to have to go right back out onto the field.
I don't know. Does that matter? Do they stay tired? Are they still tired in this game? Does it work that way, or like are they?
Maybe I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
I feel like I often ask you questions about this game that like are really like intricate knowledge of the game that like I shouldn't expect you to know, and then I put you in this position where you're like, no, I don't know that. I just feel like that happens a lot where I ask you questions that like.
Well, looking at Tyrone Powell's stamina, he does look still kind of tired, so it very well might be.
Dick Cheney, Wisconsin. All right. There's what else we got here? A lot of people I haven't heard of. A lot of people went to Wisconsin.
Makes sense.
Someone named Lawrence Eagleburger, former U.S. Secretary of State. That is a fantastic name.
Wow.
Secretary of
especially for like a government person.
Lawrence Eagleburger. It also sounds illegal. Like an eagle burger sounds highly. You can't eat an eagle burger, right?
Yeah,
like I feel
probably
like
not.
You're not allowed to eat eagle. I don't think eagle's gamey too. I don't think eagle is something you want.
Probably. Yeah. All right, here we got 3rd and 1 at midfield.
We haven't talked about egg rolls. We got to talk about egg rolls. We'll get to that.
Dang it! Almost got the tackle for loss.
We're talking about egg rolls because like Darren Ravel was at the Mets game and they're serving a bunch of stuff in egg rolls. Like there's like a cheeseburger egg roll. There was some other stuff. I'll bring it up. We're talking about how egg roll is an underused food.
I agree.
Food delivery system. And
I went to
good with that.
I went to Jimmy's Seafood in Baltimore when I was down there when the Yankees played there in July, right before the All-Star break, and I tried the crab cake egg rolls, and they were fantastic.
That does sound pretty good. I've never had that before. I mean, you can put anything in an egg roll. I'll eat it. My mom used to buy when I was a kid. There were these egg rolls that it was like pizza rolls, but they were egg rolls. Like it was like an egg roll, but it had like the stuff from like sauce and cheese in it. They were great. Haven't seen them since anywhere, but they did exist.
All right, 3rd and long. Let's see if Rutgers can finally get a 3rd down stop. And there we go. Braden Locke gets sacked, and now it's a 4th and 22. All right. Great way to start the 2nd quarter.
So the different ones were...
All right, we're being very on brand. We're setting the house on the fun.
Cinnamon bun egg roll.
Oh.
Chicken parm a la vodka egg roll. That sounds interesting. That's going to be running into...
Roughing the kicker.
It's roughing even though he didn't go anywhere?
No, yeah, that's how this game works. Roughing the kicker is way too common in this game, unfortunately.
Could you imagine the rage that Greg Schiano would have if they got a roughing the punter penalty on a 4th and 22? Could you imagine?
They almost did.
Yeah,
they almost did against. They almost did against Nebraska. Luckily, I think it was Flip Dixon was the one that got a hand on the ball. So, that's how the punter got injured. He got leveled on that first.
I don't know if anyone cut it, but I meant to do it. I just kind of forgot. Is that towards the end of the game, the Nebraska game, there was a scene on the side with Schiano is like he takes his, I don't know if he had a hat, like whatever. He like brushed his head and he just went like he was just he was mashing his face and the announcer was like, "Yep, that's the face of a man whose team has 0 points." It was a great little. It would make a good GIF if someone could find it, or if I guess I could go do it. We need an intern. Who wants to be our intern? Who's our intern? We need an intern.
All right. Well, I still can't stop the run, and now Wisconsin's in hurry up. This is not good.
You gave up that 4th and 22. That was terrible.
Yeah. All right, there we go. We finally stopped the run. Gain of only a yard.
Egg roll is the other one.
Oh,
there are 4 of those at the Mets. But yeah, you could put anything in there, and I think I would eat it.
Yeah, honestly,
same thing
too.
I was talking about this with my wife before. Ravioli is something that, so I don't eat cheese. And they don't like, there need to be more foods delivered in a ravioli pocket. Like, think of how you could put anything in there. It doesn't have to have cheese. Like, you could put anything in a ravioli pocket and it would be good. And I empanadas, same way. We just have a lot of underutilized food pockets in our society. And I think that I think you could actually design a whole restaurant around, we only sell things in food pockets. Various food pockets.
I would go there. All right, Rutgers gets a third down stop in the red zone, and oh no! Wisconsin just doinks it off the left upright, and they come away scoreless after getting bailed out by a roughing the kicker.
How long of a field goal? That's not even 28 yards. Oh, that's pathetic. Yeah. That's cool. Right, that's cool. They can miss that. They would never miss that in Madden. That would never happen.
Now it's time to establish the run. Let's do this.
So, like a food truck that only sells like egg rolls, or like egg rolls with other stuff in it, or pizza rolls, or ravioli. It has to be in a pocket. You need a name for it. Yeah.
Oh, that was bad. I should not have thrown that ball. All right.
So third down and 5 here. Rutgers up 10-3, 3:55 to go here in the second quarter.
I have a specific play that I want to run.
Kick return for a touchdown and doinked field goal. Yes. Alec looks like he's going to run this red zone scissors play. All right. And try to hit Monangai coming out of the backfield.
Slide the line over to the right so I can roll out.
See what that corner does.
Oh, they're blitzing.
It's open.
Oh, there we go. Yep, oh, did he drop it? He dropped it.
He did.
That's tough.
That's rough.
It's always tough throwing the running backs because they always drop it. I can kick a 92-yard field goal.
There was there used to be these things like, this is like mid 2000s Madden, called Madden cards. I don't know if it lasted more than a couple of years, but like you would get packs of cards in the game, but you wouldn't like, it would have the normal stuff. Like you could get like a player from, you get like, I don't know, like I don't know, Otto Graham, and you could play with Otto Graham or whatever. But they also
had
cards.
Just Ultimate Team?
No, well, here's the thing. It had more than that. It is kind of just Ultimate Team, but they also had cards you could play during the game, like unlimited field goal range, or like super fast players, or like they had cards you could play during the game, and you could kick a 92-yard field goal if you had the Madden cards. It was fun. It was a lot of fun to play with those.
Also, Aaron Lewis just got injured, so Jermichael Scantlebury is now in the game, even though I thought I took him out of the rotation. We'll see if we have a repeat of one of the other games. Oh, there's an interception by Bo Masco.
Nice.
There we go. All right. Braden Locke makes a key mistake and throws it right to him in cover 2. So now Rutgers is redeemed. Let's see if we can finally get some offensive touchdown on the board.
And you do other stuff like it's always 1st and 5. It's never 1st and 10. Your opponent's always 1st and 15. That kind of stuff.
Well, that sounds very entertaining. I wish they would bring that
fun,
back.
yeah. QB can't throw an interception or fumble. Oh, fumbleitis.
How does that work?
Yeah, you're fumbleitis. If they drop it, I guess. I don't know. I don't remember. But like fumbleitis, your opponent is more likely to fumble. And depending, like there's bronze, silver, and gold. So if you had like a gold card, it would be 75% increase in fumbling. Or if you had a silver one, 50% increase in fumbling. It was a whole huge system of extra points for interceptions and sacks. Like there was so many things you could play.
All right, Rutgers is now starting to establish the run. Now we're entering Wisconsin. We're in Wisconsin territory.
Workers,
I think I got sacked when
you get points if your player gets injured. That was one thing, yeah.
That's hilarious. All right, I've tried to find Monangai on that same play, and it just didn't work. Let's see. All right, let's run a tunnel screen with Chris Long. Let's see how this goes. All right, he's got an edge. Oh, there we go. First down. Let's do it. Now we are in the red zone. Let's see if we can score here.
10-3 Rutgers, 2.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Should we decide to put this out as a podcast episode, which I think we will. I think we've kept up the conversation enough.
Yeah.
That we could. Now,
people are going to be completely lost.
That's fine. Monangai with a 5-yard run there. And then we didn't get any guests this week because I wasn't sure when we were doing it. I didn't end up asking anybody, and I don't know. We didn't have anyone popping in this week, which was not great. But next week we'll have somebody. Next week, by the way, I am endeavoring. This would be something separate from what we do. it's rumored that there might be an episode of the Are You Screw podcast on Sports Radio 1766. That rumor is out there. It's possible. It's out there. It's possible. I think 8-time Emmy Award winner Adam Helfgott has committed to finding a time. Don't know when that's going to be. Don't know if it's going to be live, but the Are You Screw podcast is endeavoring to do an episode next week, in addition to, the other stuff we're doing here on Sports Radio 1766. Sports Radio 1766, always expanding.
Of course. Oh, Demir Miller almost gets in. All right. Down to the 1 yard line.
Got a couple more people in the bullpen to trot out there during Rutgers Football Simulated seasons. That could be fun in the coming weeks and months.
Very, very interesting strategy here. Wisconsin has 3 down linemen on first and goal from the 1 yard line. I cannot see this going very well. And that was way too easy.
Look at this. Touchdown. It's on Heisman. It's not this isn't going. I didn't want you to lose, but
I wanted to come back
or something.
Yeah, I'm surprised at how well this is going, honestly. I'm expecting something horrible to happen, like throwing a pick six at some point.
Well, your other
Wisconsin
idea,
taking this kickback for a touchdown.
Your other idea was that you play online against random people and see how good you are at this game and probably maybe get destroyed. I don't know. That's another idea we could probably attempt to execute at some point as a big hit on the return there. Who was that?
Yeah.
I didn't get
Moses Walker.
Moses Walker.
Akash Sanders is rotating at safety. That's what I like to see. I put in Igbenusin as my sub linebacker, and now he's just playing middle linebacker for a lot of these plays. Wisconsin uses an early timeout after a 9-yard catch out of the flat. What is going on? Why are the play formations not showing up? And where is the down and distance marker? This is bizarre. Oh,
this game has a lot of
big
weird
hit.
bugs. I feel like it has a lot of weird bugs.
I haven't seen this before, honestly. All right, 3rd and inches. We're gonna send a blitz. Yeah, this is very strange. That's really weird. I don't know where
on the shotgun on 3rd and inches, and okay, well,
Flip Dixon almost knocks it free, but he can't. All right, let's run a cover 6. We got a half coverage out on the right side. Hopefully, he doesn't give up a touchdown. I have noticed a problem in these video games. Oh, there we go. Intercepted by Desmond Igbenusin. I lurked the quarterback, Braden Locke, over the middle and just picked it off. That is now 2 interceptions by Braden Locke in this game, and now Rutgers is set up to they're set up to take a 3-possession lead going into halftime.
Interesting point by somebody on the Rutgers Sports Outsider Discord. You can DM me at RUScrewPod if you'd like an invite link to the Rutgers Sports Outsider Discord. But that Connor Stallions wouldn't be as well known, and this story would have died if his name wasn't Connor Stallions. That the name Connor Stallions is doing a lot of work for him. That if his name was Bill Jones, that he wouldn't we wouldn't still be talking about Bill Jones. No offense to anyone named Bill Jones out there, but I'm sorry, but you just don't have the cachet to have a giant college football scandal and people to still be talking about you a year later. The name Connor Stallions is doing a lot of work for him, and I hadn't thought about that before. It's a very interesting point.
I don't disagree. All right, here we go. Rutgers once again threatening, and Ian Strong unfortunately can't hold that one in. 38 seconds left, and at the Wisconsin 24-yard line. Let's see. I feel like I haven't gotten your input for any of these plays.
Yeah, I don't know.
Would you like to have any input?
Yeah, well, I got to think about how I want to approach this though, because I want to make this game closer. So I should keep this to myself. I want to call plays that are bad.
Are you trying to sabotage me?
I'm not trying to sabotage you. I'm trying to make the game entertaining for the people, because you're actually getting outgained, but also winning 17-3. So this is classic Shiano football.
Exactly.
It's not sabotage. It's like I'm trying to hit the Buffalo Wild Wings button,
Right.
Which is kind of sabotage, but.
All right, we're going to kick another field goal. 17-3. This one looks like about a 37-yarder for Jay Patel. And snap good, spot good, kick is up, and it is through. 20-3.
You're good at kicking.
I am. Kicking. I've done it a lot. All right. Rutgers is taking a 20.
I wish we could rewind. There was a Wisconsin player who was just like, if you're on YouTube and you're watching this, rewind like 15, 20 seconds or whatever, and look at the Wisconsin player who just appeared to be, I don't know if he was dead, but he looked like he might have been dead on the field. Like he was on the ground, not moving. Nobody was paying attention at all.
Well,
Weird
that might be some of the culture issues that Wisconsin's dealing with. That Braylon Allen
Dude's taking a nap on the field after the game.
Yeah,
or during the game.
All right, Wisconsin's going full empty set.
Is falling asleep on the field better than running onto it while the play is still going on, like the Washington guy did?
Yes, because at least that's not a penalty. As we get a sack by, looks like it's Keyshawn Griffin, known destructor of college football 25.
You took a timeout.
I'm going to call a timeout. I'm going to call a timeout
down?
just so I can try to force a turnover.
Interesting. Do they run the ball here? Are they programmed to just give up?
Yes. Yes, they are. Yeah, they're just going to run it to the outside. I'm going to call another timeout just so I can blitz or actually, no, I'm not going to blitz.
This would be
I'm going to blitz.
A big thing. People will be very mad. I think the coach would be maybe they'd be mad about this, for like the disrespect you're showing them by not letting them.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I am out of timeouts, so Wisconsin will not be punting this ball away. And Rutgers is going to go into halftime up 20-3 on Wisconsin. Yeah, the stats in this game are weird because, like you said, this is literally just Rutgers versus Washington. Well, not literally, but it's very much like it.
So someone cut up the. Someone cut out. I'm gonna get the picture of the guy down on the ground up on the stream here in just a second.
I didn't even see that at first. Yeah, nobody's paying attention to him after the field goal.
And there's like a leg through him too. Like someone's leg is like through the middle of the player. So let me just I can pop that up in a second.
All right. Oh wow, we are already at a halftime. That's a short halftime show. All right, so Wisconsin does get the ball to start the second half. And Kevin Fine said 2 weeks of a lot of red and white uniforms. Yeah, because there's just an absurd amount of red teams in the Big Ten for whatever reason.
It's true. A lot of we talked about. I don't know if we ever talked about it. A lot of letters in the middle of the alphabet and a lot of red and white in the Big Ten.
Yeah. All right, let's see what Wisconsin does to start out this half. Whether they try to go pass heavy or continue to establish the run, which has worked for them, by the way. The only problem is Braden Locke has thrown 2 interceptions, and Rutgers did return a kick for a touchdown. There we go. That's a 5-yard gain on the ground, and they're going hurry up.
Yeah, so if you're on YouTube right now, you can see the player who is in question, who is just lying on the ground with a Rutgers player's leg through him.
Wisconsin is continuing to run the ball. Yeah, it's a 3rd and 1. I'm going to send another blitz. I'm going to send this hot blitz that I've been running a lot and see if it works. I'm assuming they're going to run the ball again, and that's exactly what they're going to do. I cannot see the down and distance. Bo Masco misses a tackle, and that's first down. All right. New set of downs for Wisconsin at the 40-yard line. Again, they're still running the ball, and they're also going hurry.
Third quarter. It's plenty. 3-score game, I guess. I don't know.
That screen doesn't work because Bo Masco gets around the blocker. They're still running hurry up. I will say, in real life, Bo Masco had a great game against Nebraska. Desmond Gnuson is playing defensive end for some reason. I just saw him line up on the line of scrimmage for whatever reason, which is weird. I don't think he was supposed to do that. And Wisconsin runs for a first down accordingly. So they're still running the ball. They are, for whatever reason, going back into hurry up. I don't really know what's happening right now. Still 20-3. 4:45 and counting to go in the third quarter. Do they run the ball here? I think they do. They go to RPO, and they do run the ball. I missed a tackle, but luckily, it looks like his DJ Allen was there to clean it up. Gain of 3.
Stop looking up the Wisconsin alumni. I need to get back to that.
Another run play. All right.
And how...
All right, another third down. Wisconsin has absolutely marched up and down the field, but they just keep turning the ball over. Here we go. 3rd and 3. over the middle for the corner route, incomplete. I think they go for it here because once again, oh no, they're kicking a field goal. Okay, wow. All right, their kicker is very good. This will be a 55-yarder. Wow. All right, let's see if we can get a block here. No block. It's up, and it is off the upright again.
Double doink in the same place on the upright
too. Yeah. Wow. That is unfortunate.
Feels like, is there any way we can make this? How do I hit the Buffalo Wild Wings button here? I really can't.
I don't.
You're just dominating. You're too good. You're too good. You're too good.
I think Heisman finds a way to rubber band in this game. I don't really know, but I guess we'll find out.
Please, no offense. I don't say no offense. It's a video game. You could I don't know. I'm rooting for the audience, and I feel like the audience.
Yeah.
I don't know if the audience wants to see you lose. I think they want to see you get come back on. Yeah, that's what I think.
All right, here we go. Monungai up the middle once again. That goes nowhere. They're down. Jay Patel is nowhere near field goal range. Let's see.
These are not the cheese-fed boys that I'm used to seeing from Wisconsin. This is a very disappointing performance from Wisconsin. Hopefully this is the way it is on. I mean, 20-3. It's not 40-30 like I said, but this would be fun.
All right, we're going to see if we can set up a first down here. That's not good. That's really not good. Anything Alec gets sacked. Kind of never had a chance there, but it's all right. Let's punt it back to Wisconsin and see what they can do on offense. Once again, Michael Hartshorn still the starting punter for Rutgers. We're going to try to line drive this one down the sideline and see if we can get a bounce.
Kind of interesting. So...
Oh, nice punt return for Wisconsin.
Down to the 45. So Ken Pomeroy, people know who Ken Pom is, college basketball numbers website guy.
His human poll.
Human poll. So the human poll is his ability or his endeavor to say that the pollsters are bad. The people voting on the college polls are not good at this, and that he can kind of crowdsource voting to the fans, and that if you're a Ken Pom subscriber, I forgot to do it. I'm a Ken Pom
I meant to, and I forgot.
I totally forgot to. So if you're a subscriber, over the last couple of weeks, you could have gone on there, and basically the way the poll works is they'll ask you questions. Do you think they'll give you two random teams, and somehow his math and his computers and his numbers, whatever, they run it all, and they'll give him two. Like, will Rutgers beat Prairie View A&M, right? And then you would pick Rutgers and then his whatever. And so it all comes out to a poll of all Division I teams, and based on the results of the fans, of the subscribers, Rutgers was ranked 38th in this year's human poll, which places them right on the bubble.
Wisconsin is punting on 4th and 2 from Rutgers' 47-yard line, by the way. I think Luke Fickell might not be allowed to enter the state of Wisconsin again if this happened in real life. And it's not even that good of a punt. It goes out at the 26.
Is there a word for like coward that rhymes with fickle?
Puke. Fickle?
More like puke fickle.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see if we can get a tunnel screen with Chris Long going. All right, there we go. That should be a first down. Let's see if we can establish the run a little bit more.
Isn't establishing the run like not a real thing? Hasn't it been proven that it's like not a real thing or something? Like it doesn't actually.
Not if
do
you
anything?
ask Pete Carroll. All right,
What's
there
Pete
we go.
Carroll
First
doing?
down for Common.
He's not doing TV or anything.
I think he's like an advisor with Washington. I think.
Okay.
Or he's still an advisor with the Seahawks front office, but I don't know what he's like officially.
Commanders look really good. Commies look like one of the best teams in the league.
They do. All right, let's get it to Demir Miller once again, and he brings it in. There we go. Nathan Caligmenis has surpassed 100 yards passing. Yeah, Dan Quinn. Cliff Kingsbury, the college offense.
Yeah, the funny thing about Cliff Kingsbury is that he was kind of a laughingstock in Arizona, and the play calling was terrible. Like it was bad.
It was.
It didn't make any sense. And then now he's good at calling plays because his quarterback has the same skill set. Like it's the same. I know Kyler is like smaller than Jaden Daniels, but it's the same like idea. And so it's weird that like all of a sudden apparently good at this again. I don't know.
The thing was, like every single year that Kingsbury has been a head coach, they start hot and then they tail off like midway through the season. It happened in Texas Tech and then also in Arizona. So there's still time. I'm not saying that they're going to, but there's still time for the wheels to fall off.
I'll say this though, of all the NFL teams, and I know through the first few weeks of the season, for me, one of the biggest takeaways is that there's not that many good NFL teams. The Commanders look like one of the good NFL teams. Like there don't look to be that many. The Chiefs are good, obviously. The Texans look like they're good. The Bills look weird, but I think they're good.
By the way, I want to focus on this. Look at Jay Patel's hair. That is not Jay Patel's hair. He has like a little like action. He has like a little like man bun ponytail action. Anyways, that's just a thing that I've noticed from playing this game. We're gonna kick another field goal.
One thing about football is you don't get to like see the guys that often. So I wonder who's got the best hair on our team. Like we have any? Yeah, I don't know.
Wow, I have no idea how I just made that field goal.
5-star kicker Jay Patel.
The play clock was down to like 3 seconds. I didn't realize until I kicked it, and he just made a 51-yarder. So yeah. There is no reason that should have gone through, but it did. And now Rutgers is up 23-3 and a complete laugher over Wisconsin with 1:05 to go in the third quarter. Jay Patel is 2 for 2 on field goals or 3 for 3 on field goals and 2 for 2 on extra points.
Come on, rubber band. Let's go.
Wisconsin just keeps running the ball for some reason, even though they are down by 20 points. I can't imagine they run the ball here.
Puke Fickell. I don't know why I'm making this Southern.
Also, Desmond Igbenusson did get injured on that interception that he had, but I threw him back out there. You can see his wear and tear. He's very close to getting injured again. They're still running the ball, and it's still not working.
Did you listen to that call from the legend from the Paul Feinbaum show, the Alabama fan? Did you listen to that call?
I have not yet.
I put it in the Discord. It's 7 minutes long. I'm not going to play all of it, but and I'm not like the guy who wants to I don't necessarily want to listen to the call-in radio show. I'm very kind of anti. I find that to not generally be entertaining. But when you get callers we need that. We need someone on Sports Radio 1766 to call in and be legend, because it was 7 minutes of just going in on Kalen DeBoer as Wisconsin is going to score a touchdown. All right, rubber band, man. Wisconsin pulls to within 23-9 pending the extra point. But as far as what I was talking about 10 seconds ago, which I have lost my train of thought.
Legend from the Paul Feinbaum show?
Oh, Paul, yeah. So that's a great call. 7 minutes of great analysis. Vandy's our daddy. You can never trust this guy again. Blah, blah, blah. Losing to they lost to Vanderbilt. The embarrassment of that is really starting to kind of set in with me when they played the quote of Nick Saban saying that everywhere in the SEC is hard to play except Vanderbilt. Yeah. They're mocking Alabama at Vanderbilt. And if you haven't heard this call, again, 7 minutes, I'm not going to play it here. It's linked in the Discord. Maybe I'll put it on Twitter or something, but you can find it if you're watching this and you don't have access to those things. For some reason, you'll be able to find this clip of Legend calling in. The guy, he calls himself Legend, which is whatever. But he is a legend, and he had one of those 7 minutes, and not one of those crazy angry, oh, Paul, I'm gonna do everything, and not one of those like passionate, but everything made sense. Nothing was crazy.
Who was the legendary woman from Tuscaloosa who would always call in?
Roll damn Tide.
They ain't ever played nobody. Yeah, unfortunately, I think she did.
Feinbaum.
I think her name's Marge or something. I could be completely making that up.
Phyllis. It was Phyllis.
Phyllis. Yes, Phyllis. That's who it was.
Yeah. Yeah, she passed away in last May. Rest in peace, Phyllis. Phyllis from Mulga.
Phyllis from Mulga. That's who it was. I knew it was something like that. All right, it's the start of the fourth quarter now. Rutgers is still up 23-10.
Oh, she's the one who called. She called into. She called Colin Cowherd cow turd. The
That's
dynasty
right.
is not over. Do you hear me, cow turd? That's one of the. I gotta have that on the sound. On the sound.
Iconic. All right, let's see. Oh, that might be open. That's not open. And I think Alec just threw an interception. I tried to throw back across the middle, rolling to the left, and it was horrifically underthrown. Ian Strong was open if I just set my feet. Now, the rubber banding might be in play now.
Oh, we're rubber banding. We're banding.
Wisconsin. I can't imagine they keep running the ball.
No, they're about to score a touchdown. They're going to score a touchdown within 3 plays.
I would not doubt that. All right, here we go. All right. Gain of 7 on first down. Bo Masco has 8 tackles. Wow, very impressive game for him. And he also has an interception, I think. All right, here we go. Split backfield. They're not going to run the ball. They ran the ball. All right. And it's going to work. I think that's first down, gain of 6. Now at their own 47-yard line. Wisconsin is driving. Rutgers defense is starting to deal with some wear and tear. And they're going to throw a backwards pass that technically is a run play that'll lose 3 yards. Wesley Bailey is on the verge of getting injured. He has a high risk of injury right now.
Oh, here we go. Back to this. Like when you did that to Aaron Lewis.
I put Aaron Lewis did get injured early in this game, and I put him back in. He hasn't gotten injured yet, so we're still good. Oh dear. Oh, yep, it's happening. Wisconsin's running back just broke about 4 tackles. Why is Ches Malusi in the game?
Nick Saban is the biggest piece of turd to ever hit Miami.
Well, that's not good. Ches Malusi is in the game. I somehow did not notice that until now, but it's fine. I put Brian Felter in the game for Rutgers, so it's mostly even. Will Pauling now has 4 catches for 93 yards. He is the one who caught that long touchdown that I almost picked off.
Piece of turd to ever hit Miami.
All right, here we go. Empty set. 4 minutes 40 seconds to go in this one. And intercepted. Let's go. Daryl
One was 2 hands. It looked like one-handed first. By the way, shout out to Alec for toughing it out today. Some allergy problems, it seems like,
yes.
For those of you listening. He had a little note up there on his on the video portion. But for those of you listening, Alec has been toughing it out here. Like Mike Broadbent with COVID last week, and like any number of people who aren't named Danny Breslauer, toughing it out when ill.
Here we go. Let's see if Rutgers can seal this one. They are up by 13 points still. 7-4.
Wisconsin really needed a score on.
They did. Looks like they're going to try to. I'm going to audible to a deep pass here because it looks like they're selling out to stop the run.
I'm late to seeing this.
Chris Long.
Go ahead.
Chris Long could be open up the field. Let's see. Oh yes, he is. He is wide open. Come on, Chris Long, bring it in. He brought it in.
That's a touchdown.
And is he going to go all
Game
the
over.
way? No, he's not. He's going to get stopped at the 3-yard line.
That sucks. So I just noticed this from many minutes ago. Kevin Fine asking, are other people calling them the commies? I took that from our very own Mike Vorkunov. That's his. He calls them the commies, and I've kind of taken to it. I've only heard him do it. So that's where I took it from. I don't know if a lot of people are, but they should be because it's fun. It's fun calling them the commies.
Mike Higgins, a backup tight end, lined up in the backfield as a fullback. Touchdown.
I'm booing Rutgers scoring a touchdown. This is not what the people want.
This one very well might be over.
I think if you blew it at this point, that would be something.
I'm gonna go for 2 because the game is telling me to. Trying to make it. We're gonna run a speed option just because I think it would be funny if they actually do get this. Monangai's got the edge and he doesn't get it. 29-10 still. This might be pretty notable if this does happen in real life because the over-under is 40.5 and we're currently at 39 total points. So if there's no more points in this game, that would be a bad beat by anyone who took the over because Rutgers decided to go for 2 up by 19.
Oh, you know what is happening today? The Rutgers men's basketball TV schedule is coming out today at 3:00. It would appear.
Yes. So that's dropping in 30 minutes
for real, not like last time.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Another broken tackle, but he's taken down, only a gain of 5. And now they're going hurry up again. Hurry up is very annoying to deal with because everyone just gets really slow once they get tired. All right, let's see if Braden Locke can lead a miracle for Wisconsin down the field. 3.5 minutes to go. Rutgers up 29-10. And quick pass, and it's caught for a first down. And they're still going hurry up. Let's switch to a Tampa 2 defense. Funnel everything towards the sidelines.
Oh, I gotta finish up the alumni search. I forgot to do that.
Yes. Oh, and another interception. This one by Robert Longerbeam, and Braden Locke is seeing ghosts right now. He threw that right to Longerbeam, who was sitting in the flat. And now Rutgers is back in the red zone.
29-10 at home over Wisconsin. This wouldn't be like beating Michigan in 2014, but because Michigan's obviously like a bigger deal than Wisconsin. But beating Wisconsin as a program for Rutgers is a big deal. I know they're favored, but getting this win, and obviously this is fake, but like in this way would be great. But like just this is another opportunity. Obviously, they just had one against Nebraska to really get a win against one of these big time Big Ten schools, because they've only done it against Michigan, right? It depends what you. Michigan State.
Well, Michigan State, but like
they haven't been that in a really. They had that
Yeah.
1 year with Kenneth Walker, but they haven't been that in a really long time, right? And they weren't even that really for that long, right? I mean, from Saban to D'Antonio, and it was like, and they were in the first college football playoff, right, or the second one.
I don't know if they were in. Oh no, they were.
Yeah,
the second
they
one.
made one of the first ones they were in. They got destroyed by
Second
Alabama.
one.
But they're not. I don't know. Maybe because Rutgers has beaten them twice now, Michigan State, or 3 times. Maybe because it's gotten old at this point, beating Michigan State. Okay, but it doesn't. I don't know. For some reason, Wisconsin feels like it would be not quite on the Michigan level, but somewhere kind of near that, as far as being a big deal for cachet.
Oh, by the way, Kaminga did score a touchdown, by the way, to make it 36-10, and now Wisconsin's just kind of trying to, I guess, end this game already. They're down
so next
36.
time we need to either not have you play or raise the sliders or something. It needs to be harder.
Yeah. I was not expecting it to be this easy, for what it's worth. I was not expecting. Yeah. Let me make sure this is actually on Heisman, by the way.
That would be funny if after all this, it's
no,
not.
It is on Heisman.
No, it is.
Okay.
We're good.
All right, good. Yeah. So it is on Heisman, which is good. 2:20 to go. And now here we go. Let's see if Wisconsin's just kind of throwing short passes now. Braden Locke, 202 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions. Again, he's seeing ghosts out there. Desmond Igbenusin, his wear and tear is now even worse than it was before, so now he's really on the verge of getting injured again. All right, we're at the 2-minute timeout now. 36-10, Rutgers leads, and Wisconsin's a first down.
Oh, Charles Lindbergh.
Really? Wow.
Oh.
I was going to make a joke about this game and Charles Lindbergh, but I'll I will not do that. Going for the end zone for a touchdown, and Bo Masco almost had another interception. And now it's just try to find the end zone by any means necessary time for Wisconsin. All right, let's see.
Oh, Bud Selig went to Wisconsin.
Interesting.
Has anyone ever in the history, maybe like Gary Nova, and you're gonna say how are Gary Nova and Bud Selig related, but that you don't really know what you don't know what you got till it's gone. Where like people hated Bud Selig, but they really hate Rob Manfred.
So at times.
What was that?
Rightfully so at times.
I feel like people hate Rob Manfred a lot more than they hate Bud Selig.
Yeah, you're definitely right there.
And like Gary Nova was someone who was kind of maligned a lot when he was a player as Rutgers gets yet another interception.
Tyreen Powell this time.
Yeah, but dropping back deep down the field and getting that pick. But yeah, people were kind of hard on Gary Nova. And then when he left, it was like, oh, well, Gary Nova was pretty great. And I feel like maybe some of that would Selig. I know that Bud Selig was worthy of being criticized a lot, but Rob Manfred just seems to be just bad at every turn.
Yeah. Kaminga is over 100 yards rushing on 17 carries. So good for him. Yeah, and Rutgers is going to run away with this one. It looks like, as of right now, at least, a 26-point win over Wisconsin.
36-10.
Yeah, on Heisman difficulty, by the way. I was not expecting this at all. I was expecting to throw 4 picks with Callie McManus and lose by 30.
I'm going to say something. Around. We should rush the field on Saturday if we win.
Just not even just win, period.
I think if Rutgers wins the game, they should rush the field.
That is a bold take.
I think that you only get to beat Wisconsin for the first time once. And as far as things to do in this conference, as far as historical things, right? It's Ohio State, Penn State, and they already beat Michigan. I think next on the list is probably Wisconsin. As far as I'm not counting USC yet. I don't know. USC, I guess historically would be a bigger win, but one, we can't rush the field for that because it's on the road. And number 2,
right.
I don't know. I still don't feel like
it wouldn't go very well.
I still don't feel like I'm in the same conference as USC. I still don't I don't feel it. So they don't count yet. Sam Brown picks up another first down, and someone on Wisconsin is hurt.
Jaheim Thomas.
Sure.
Yeah.
So We're just about done here. As we're still driving, we're still trying to score. This would Puke Fickell would not be happy about this.
He would not. It's just like last time when I got an interception and kicked the field goal at the end.
Could you imagine the plane, the revolt in Wisconsin if they lost at Rutgers 43-10? If that's what we get, because obviously you're going to start calling timeouts. You're obviously going to score a touchdown here. So 43-10. I think Puke Fickell might be in some trouble.
He might be left on the tarmac.
Speed option. Oh, something real football analysis I wanted to make here as we're well over 2 hours in. That something I want to get to over 2 hours ago was that Ethan Calig-Mattis is not a runner. I thought he would maybe be able to run some. He does not look comfortable running the ball in games. That's an element. I don't think I don't say he doesn't look comfortable. It looks kind of awkward. He can be effective, I guess. I thought he was more. I guess I thought he was a little bit more mobile than he turned out to be, and he's a little more accurate as a passer than I think he turned out to be. Than I thought he was going to be, but he's a little less of a runner than I was thinking. So that's kind of been just something interesting to note.
All right, we're gonna kick a 22-yard field goal as time expires. Just to rub it in a little bit more, and it's good. Final score: Rutgers 39, Wisconsin 10 here in the Rutgers Football Simulated season.
How many field goals did you make in this game?
4, I believe.
And you went for 2. That's right.
Yeah, I went for 2 and didn't get it at one point.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So fake Greg Schiano's back in the win. Well,
Schiano.
Technically, it's me. Technically,
Greg
I am
Schiano.
fake Greg Schiano.
No, you're the players technically, right? Are you the coach?
I don't, because I call all the plays and I also play all the plays, so I don't really know. Kyle Monangai, player of the game, 23 carries, 145 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, this Will Pauling did get his long touchdown. Let's see. They are singing the alma mater now, which is always cool. I do really like the presentation of this game.
Oh,
the gameplay has some bugs.
Is there the actual alma mater? There's a verse from it in the game. They put it in.
No, they don't actually play the song, but they just show them where they usually go after the game, rocking back and forth like they usually do. We did score 16 points in the fourth quarter to kind of really rub the salt in the wound. 39-10. Let's take a look at some of the stats. So Rutgers only outgained Wisconsin, despite winning by 29 points. They only outgained Wisconsin by 6 yards.
Schiano ball, man. That's what that is. I mean, you got the kick return for a touchdown. They did some dumb stuff, and yeah.
Also,
and
Rutgers.
Wait, what?
One of 8 on third down. That almost doesn't seem right, but Wisconsin went 7 for 14. I'm not really sure how that happened.
You made the big plays. That's what they did against Wisconsin. 5 turnovers.
5 turnovers.
I didn't realize there were that many.
Yeah, Ethan Calig-Mattis, 13 of 24, 197 yards, a touchdown and an interception. Braden Locke, 20 of 30 for 208 yards, 1 touchdown and 5 interceptions. Yeah, that's really where this game turned. Let's see. Taway Walker, 25 carries, 127 yards. Ches Malusi, who was not supposed to be in the game, ran for 37 yards, but it's fine. Let's see. For Rutgers, Kamanangai, 23 carries, 145 yards, 2 touchdowns. Ethan Calig-Mattis did get sacked a couple times. And then Sam Brown got some late carries in the fourth quarter. Receiving, Chris Long, 4 catches, 106 yards from that really long catch that he had of 78 yards. Ian Strong, 3 catches, 33 yards. And Demir Miller, 3 catches for 47 yards. And then Mike Higgins, the backup tight end, got that 1 touchdown, the 1 passing touchdown that Calig-Mattis had. Kobe Asamoah allowed 2 sacks, but everyone else was pretty solid. Who had all the interceptions on defense? So it was 5 interceptions by 5 different players. Daryl Jabome had 1. Robert Longerbeam had 1. Bo Masco had 1. Bo Masco had 16 tackles?
Wow, that's good.
Holy crap. Tyron Powell had an interception, and then Desmond Igbenuson had an interception. Wow, 16 tackles for Bo Masco, and then 14 for Flip Dixon. I don't know if that was a great thing, because that means that Wisconsin was getting a lot of stuff in the open field in the second level, but
apparently it was fine because he won
4
39-10.
tackles for loss. So yeah, 4 tackles for loss. 3 for Wesley Bailey, 2 for Malcolm Ray, 2 for Egman. Yeah, Rutgers completely dominated this game. Yeah. So,
Well, except I mean in the score, but not in the yardage,
Yeah.
and that's because the football games aren't won in the box score; they're won in the trenches.
Yeah.
Right.
And Jay Patel went 4
that's how
of
that
4,
goes.
long of 52, 3 of 3 extra points. He went 2 of 2 from 50 plus. Michael Hartshorn only punted 2 times for 75 yards. Dylan Braithwaite had a 97-yard kick return for a touchdown that kind of got things started. And then no punt returns. Yeah, that's the stats. The final score 39-10. Rutgers has won. Yeah.
All right. So let us change
stop
things up
advertising.
here.
Stop advertising Ultimate Team. Sorry.
How do we? So we do this, and then we go. Bam. Nope, we don't have that ability yet. If I go like that, it still looks kind of bad, but whatever. Alec will be back here in just a second. Alec, switch his camera over. All right, we're good now. Okay. So Sports Radio 1766, wrapping things up here. Max and Alec approaching 2.5 hours again. So that's a good thing, I think. We want to split this up. Originally, the plan this week was to do something maybe Tuesday morning, then Wednesday night. I'm throwing down the gauntlet. Okay. Before next week, this is I'm telling myself this, right? This is more of like this is for me. We are actually, let me fix my camera real quick.
All right. Yeah, I'm back here. Yeah, it's been a heck of an episode. There we go. Oh, no, that's still your OBS camera. And now it's just me again. We do have the Wisconsin player. For those who are listening, maybe I'll make this the thumbnail for YouTube so you can actually see what we're dealing with here. We do have the Wisconsin guy that is still dead. Yeah, I do like this analogy from Kevin Fine from about 10 minutes ago. Dated video game reference, but Wisconsin is just the Mike Tyson super Punch-Out character that you just couldn't beat. I never played Punch-Out, but I know what you mean. Yeah, Wisconsin just has not been able to take them down. Max is back. All right, there we go. Shout out, there's actually a store called Max's. Well, used to be a store called Max's Back up in Butler, New Jersey.
One of the things that's irritating about StreamYard that I'm still trying to figure out is that you really can't have, like, it's hard to either be completely on screen or you either have to be completely on or completely off, and it's just hard to kind of navigate. But we are back here, Sports Radio 1766, wrapping things up. So like I said, I don't know how much of it actually got on, but before next week's schedule, we're gonna come up with a schedule. This is entirely on me. We're gonna set a schedule. We're gonna let you know more in advance when we're gonna be live. The goal is to do one live show during the day, and then one at night. Maybe something like noon on Tuesdays and like 8 on Wednesdays. I don't know. We haven't really completely set what we want to do. We're gonna have a schedule. And we'll do that for next week. I mentioned we're endeavoring to have an RU Screw Pod episode to be separate from what we're doing here on Sports Radio 1766. We've got some guests, some new guests to try out in the bullpen that we'll get to, and we'll have a guest next week. I don't know who I'm going to go for, like a real guest, like someone who isn't like someone like, I don't know, used to maybe like a UCLA person. I don't know, someone who knows something about UCLA or some kind of real, not that the guests we've had so far are fake. Like, I mean, like someone outside of the comfort zone, right? Because we've had like Fonseca, we had Mike Vorkanov, and we had Danny's been on. Maybe Danny hasn't been on. Maybe we'll throw Danny on there for a little bit. But just, maybe go outside the box. Someone from outside the Sports Radio 1766.
We could get Danny's boss who went to UCLA.
That's right. Maybe Danny's boss would want to come on.
Danny's just have
Danny
and
Danny's boss together. Oh, this is a great idea. Okay. I like this. I feel like I actually feel like Danny wouldn't like. I don't know Danny's boss. I don't know him. I've never met him. I know his name, I think. I feel like from what I've heard, I feel like Danny's boss might want to do this, but Danny wouldn't want to do that. This is a great idea. I think it's fantastic. All right, so we'll try to figure out something for next week. At the very least, Max and Alec will be here hopefully next Tuesday at noon. next Wednesday. Hopefully the Artist Group Pod episode thing works out. And Sports Radio 1766 is doing well. I'm feeling good about what we're doing around here. And thank you to you, Alec, and thank you to the people who are listening and watching. And you're all great. I have nothing else to say. I think we're good. You good?
Yeah, we do have
right.
64 whole subscribers on YouTube. Shout out to all 64 of you.
If you haven't subscribe to us on YouTube. So then that number goes up and it makes us look cooler, makes us look better. By the way, our episode 2 weeks ago got like 160 views. And then our last episode last week got like 400 views. We are growing at an exponential rate here on Sports Radio 1766. And that is thanks to you, the viewer, who is clearly watching and then telling other people to watch. And I'm sure the algorithm is telling people or whatever. I don't know how any of this stuff works, but
also shorts.
The shorts. Yeah, the shorts are good. I am enjoying doing the shorts. They're very easy to make. StreamYard, I've been complaining about StreamYard. They make the ability to make shorts and clips very, very easy. It's been cool. We had the short of Mike Broadbent's dog, Chat the Dog. Probably the biggest star of Sports Radio 1766 so far is Chat the Dog, I think.
590 views right now on that short.
Yeah. People love the dog. All right. So that's it here on Sports Radio 1766. Max and Alec finishing up. I'm going to take my mouse, move it over here, hit the end stream button, and then we will be done.